Hello, nobody.
Excuse me, darling. I have a message for you.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, it says two waiting. Oh, there he is. Waiting for him to come up. Are you coming up? I did, but I'll do it again.
Excuse me, darling. I have a message for you.
Hey, everyone. Say, we got a few people coming here. My guest host hasn't come in here yet. Gary, he's on the chat, and thanks for Kevin for coming in, just doing your best. Rich and Kate Ranch came in, and Nora, the Stock Explorer in Wayne's World. Thanks for coming in. I'm just trying to figure out where Gary is. I sent him a link, but he didn't get it, so I just sent it to him email. He should be here any second now. Did you get the email, Gary? Yeah, Mitch is coming back. He's not here right now. He's trying to come on by his computer. So Nora, no coffee this morning. Oh, here goes Mitchell. Okay,
Hey,
Mitchell, we're in the chat. Are you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you have no camera. There's Gary. Hey, Gary.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine. How are you?
Doing all right. I didn't have an email. How
Oh,
did you try to send it to me?
sent it to you earlier in the week when I first made it up. I sent it by email. I sent it to you. I sent an invite also through Streamline.
I don't. I don't. I didn't see anything. I don't know
Okay.
how that works as far as
So all right. Well, I don't know.
working through
But you're
Stream.
here now. It's all that matters.
Um, I don't even know where that would show up. I don't.
I thought it was sending you to an email. So it's no big deal.
I'm not
You're here.
aware. I, I'll have to look through StreamYard, see there's a feature I don't know anything about.
All right. Well,
Um,
so how's your day going?
okay, I reckon. Al's doing his 24-hour live,
Right. I was there earlier.
and let's see. Um, let's see. It's not on there. Not on there. I don't see a place for it to show up.
All right. It's all right. I'll look figure it out later. I guess.
Well, for future reference, if you want to contact me, either a text or an email.
Well, when we make the logo up, that's when I did that. Maybe
Well,
when
I
oh
think we talked on the phone when you were doing that, didn't you?
yeah, but I sent it to you right after we got done with it. The first one I made.
I do remember seeing it, but I thought it was on your channel. You had it. You already had it up on your channel. That's where I saw it. I didn't see it.
Oh,
I didn't see it.
I thought I sent it to you through the link through with StreamYard, but it's all right. Anyway, I don't have any questions yet, and we got Mitchell also came in, but
What's going on, Mitchell?
His camera's on.
Are you at work?
No, I'm not at work. I just didn't have my camera on.
Oh, there we go.
I just had to turn it around.
It's all good. I just, usually used to seeing you. How you been doing, brother?
Just working a lot.
I understand that.
I had to work yesterday. Our big crane broke down, and I had a live scheduled, and I didn't even have time to go cancel the live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw you went live for a second or two, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
And the internet was bad.
Yeah, it was really sketchy. You cutting in and out. So, does anybody have any questions for Gary and myself, or any things you guys want to talk about? Because this is where your question is supposed to be. Are you, Gary? Did you come on through where you're streaming on your side too? The new thing.
All right. Right now, you have to have because you initiated the stream. In order for anybody else to stream, you have to have your settings right, and your settings aren't set up to do that. So, if you want to know how to do it, I'll be glad to tell you how to do it. That
go to the layout. They'll go to the recording one, settings, the recording.
No. Go to your settings down at the bottom of the All right. And then look over to the left, and it should say guests down at the bottom.
All right, hold it. Got the settings. Click on the settings, correct?
Yeah.
All right. When it comes up, it says the settings are general, camera, audio, virtual background, recording. They had new there. Hotkeys, layouts, and guests.
Right. Like I said, there's one that says guests.
Okay.
Go to that one and click on that one.
Okay.
All right. At the very top, there's going to see something that says guest or new out to it. And it says something about allowing others to share the stream.
All right. So I click on that.
Click on that. Now, I don't know if it'll take effect before or not. Hang on.
Well, I don't know. I think you have to have a basic membership to do that. You can't do it. I don't think you can do it for the free plan.
Well, let me take a look.
Nope, you can't.
Well, that's interesting. I guess
so you have to have the pay thing to do that.
All right. Well, it's still worth talking about.
Well, Jerry popped off.
Well, he may be going to look into getting the paid plan or something, or maybe he's going out and coming back in. I don't know. I mean,
Hey, I got something that I was wanting to ask you, Gary.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think about podcasting?
I think it's an interesting concept. I have never done a podcast before. I've got a friend of mine who has done several of them. He lives not too far from me, and he's done several. Hey, welcome back, Jerry.
Yeah, when I clicked out of that membership, it kicked me out.
Okay, that's weird.
I thought that was kind of strange too, because I thought I was still in it, and look at that, going, "What is going on here? I can't see nobody, I can't hear nobody." But yeah, you've got to have a paid membership in order to do that, be the host of it. Maybe not to be in somebody's with it, but be a host of it. You have to have a paid membership.
I don't think that you have to have. I don't think that you have to be a paid member to join in on it.
Right.
I'm truthfully, I'm still finding out stuff about it like this. I was not aware that you had to have a paid membership to access that.
Yeah, and I haven't decided to do that yet. So
Well, that's
So,
fine.
so no, it's not just audio. There's audio and video podcasting, but it's putting them on a podcasting platform. Like Google has a podcasting, Apple has a podcast. But you can't just go put them on there. You actually have to have a hosting agent. And I actually have a podcast. I was just curious what everybody else's thought was on it.
Well, there's a spot on YouTube for podcasts.
Now it used to not show it all the time.
Well, it may not show it to everybody. I know
So-
that I've seen it.
Yeah, you can see it now every time you go to YouTube. But before, like whenever I was picking where all my podcasts were going to be distributed to, YouTube didn't have it at the time. Now it's on there.
Now, how is the podcast any different than, say, what Brian over at the Vineyard Farmhouse does when he invites guests on and talks to them?
Absolutely nothing, but you're not putting it on a hosting agent to distribute it to. You have to be able to distribute it to like Apple Podcasts. That's mine. Go to Apple, Google, Spotify. I can't remember the other. Well, there's 4 of them. Or 5 of them. I just have them selected and setting it all up.
I didn't realize you had podcasts.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
I'm actually starting another one,
What's that?
another podcast.
Oh, okay. What's the name of it? Or have you had that yet?
So there's 4 guys and I are going to be starting this, and we're going to be doing at our lunch break. We're going to just record us talking at lunch break and getting other people's opinion. And there's some one of them has his brother is really high up in. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but he's got some pretty cool. He's got some pretty cool friends. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. If it's okay with y'all, I'd like to take just a moment and recognize the people that's in the chat or that I see. I do see Nora from the Stock Explorer, Wayne's World Unlimited, Hiking with Jackie Boy, Shirley over at Just Doing Our Best. That reminds me, I'm supposed to be having lunch with Shirley and her husband Brian tomorrow. Rich Cat Ranch. Let's see if I've missed anybody.
You got Brian from Vineyard Farmhouse.
I see him now. I'm scrolling down to try and make sure I cover from the beginning to now.
Okay.
Hoga Homestead's here. Thank y'all for coming in, Brian. Always a pleasure. Let's see, can't talk very easy right now. I understand how that goes. Just want to make sure that I'm,
We got Kevin from Hiking with Jackie Boy.
Very cool. I guess Jackie, I've seen that name several times in the last little bit. Although I haven't had a chance to get to know them quite as well.
Let me tell you, Brian, Kevin is the owner of Jackie Boy. Jackie Boy is a miniature pin. Am I saying that right? Miniature pincher? What do they call it? Oh shoot! Help me out, Kevin. I think it's a miniature pitcher. I think it is like that. And he takes him out, and they do a lot of hiking. And Jason from Outback. God, I got mental block.
That's okay.
Back Road Freedom. Oh, there we go. Back Road Freedom. They go out hiking together, both down in Texas, and they take the miniature pincher out there, and they go hiking. And that miniature pincher is Jackie Boy.
Okay. Well, that's
Nora, from the Stock Explorer, I named a goat after her, and our goat name after her is Nora the Goat Explorer. And I'm going to make another T-shirt for that, Mitchell. That's another one of the T-shirts that I make.
Well, I think that sounds pretty cool. I did think it was kind of interesting or I guess technically it was this morning. We had I don't know how many people were streaming at one time. I did go over and watch Brian's recording of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was I just happened to cross it when I was I hadn't done much online today because I've been working a lot of the day on trying to get that members video put together, and I did finally get it loaded up to go to where members could see it. And so,
right. And I was taking a nap and I woke up just in time to start this up, and I got a notification on that, and I hadn't gone over and looked at it yet, but I will.
Hey, it's all good either way. I try to put some stuff together from time to time. I don't know if it's good or bad well, thank you, Nora. I don't know if that was today's that you saw or the last one. I really I thought both of them were decent. I'm still working on improving. And what program did I use? I used OpenShot Editor. There are different people. I prefer OpenShot. I think. What editor do you use, Mitchell?
Filmora Wondershare.
Do you like it?
I love it. But that's the only one I used another one to begin with, and I didn't care for it, and then I bought the Filmora, and I really like it.
So you bought which version though? The 11 or the 12?
It's the 12.
You got the 12, okay? And I got the 11 that I bought for $80, but I pay a monthly charge of $20.99 to be able to get all the extra video stuff, to be music and stuff.
So I did the once a year deal on it, and it automatically upgrades. So I started out 2.5 years ago with Filmora, and it was like 8.4, and I haven't had to rebuy it. It just asks you if you want to update it, and when I update it every time it asks me.
It asked me to update to 12, and I haven't done it yet because I'm afraid I just learned the 11 so well. I'm not ready to have to really learn that all over again. Wow. So, and Tamara and Dave is in here. I don't know if we saw that, and then Corner Clubhouse, Cobalt, they joined. Thank you for joining, guys. If you have any questions, that's what we're here for. When ask questions about anything. If we don't know, we'll find out.
One thing. Hey, I'll do my little plug for OpenShot, because I've seen some of these other editors, and some of them look pretty complicated. OpenShot seems to be about as simple as it gets. In fact, there's even a thing called Simple View, where it has the preview, it has the items you're working with, and then it has the different layers.
So with Filmora, the new things that they have, Gary, you've seen the girls' channels, right?
To be honest with you, I don't think I have.
I have.
So the intros that I have on their videos, Jerry. Then I did that with Filmora, and there's a deal in the very beginning, like when you open it up, it asks you a new file, a new video. You create a new. Right below it, there's like 10 boxes you can pick from, and one of them is to make an intro. And you just click on it, and then you just drag your media file into it, and it'll sit there and just have a little bar going across the screen, and then it'll pop up a couple minutes later saying the rendering is done. And then you just go in and type in the words on there, and it's awesome. I created theirs in no time, like 20 minutes tops.
Yeah, and that probably uploaded too, huh?
Mine does take a little.
Since you have the quick upload there.
Well,
Yeah.
mine doesn't
Well, I
have.
don't upload.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't upload them from my computer. I upload them from my phone.
So, okay, here's a question. And then you make the video on Filmora in your computer, and then how
Download it
do
to my phone.
you upload it to your phone?
No, I just download. I plug my phone in, and then plug my phone in my computer, and then I just drag, and then I'll open YouTube up on my phone, and then hit upload.
Can I ask why you don't just upload it from your computer?
Because my phone does it in about a fraction of. So it takes me about 25 minutes from my computer. It takes me about 6 minutes for my phone.
Yeah, he was telling me that before. He was able to do it so much faster, and they're putting fiber optics in over where he's at.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
I guess they're already there, but that he hasn't hooked up to them yet, right?
They haven't quite made it here yet.
So he was saying it's so much faster uploading because I mean I did a video that was 30 some odd minutes. It took me an hour and a half to upload it. So that, of course, it had music in it, and the more stuff you put in it, the more layers you have in it, the longer it takes to upload.
No, the longer it takes to render. Once it's rendered, it doesn't care how about the video audio file.
It does for me. It does for me. If I put a bunch of music in it and stuff, and a lot of text boxes and stuff, it takes longer to upload it.
Once it is created. So, do you render it to your computer, save it to your computer, and then upload it, or do you upload
Yes.
it from Filmora?
No, I export it, which it makes into the video, put it in a file, and I go to that file and upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, see,
But I'm also on DSL, which I'm also at the very, very end of the DSL because I'm way out of the country and I don't have any. I mean, if I didn't have DSL, we would, we'd have hardly anything. As a matter of fact, sometimes I wonder if our mail comes by carrier pigeon. So, it takes forever sometimes. So,
well, I have found myself trying to get better at a lot of these different things, but I found that I'm not real. I know Eddie hates Filmora.
yeah, he likes Da Vinci,
He
which
likes
is
Da Vinci.
Yeah, and I've looked at the Da Vinci, and it's almost exactly the same as Filmora is.
Looks to me it looks complicated.
it's Da Vinci is more complicated than Filmora.
It is.
Yeah, especially it's way more complicated.
I've looked at the layout. The layout's pretty much the same. I'm not really done with Da Vinci. I just watched him do a thing on Da Vinci, and I'm thinking that looks exactly how Filmora is. It's got all the different layers and different things up on top of each other. You want me to bring that up, Gary?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I'll just show you what I'm working with. This is what I work with, and this is the way it's laid out most of the time. It's pretty simple to understand. You got 5 tracks. The higher it is on the track, the more visible it's going to be. It's like you had a sheet of paper here, sheet of paper there, sheet of paper there, sheet of paper there, etc. If as far as the stuff you're working with, you go right there. If I wanted to import, I would right click, or I could go up here and click on that. Or you can drag and drop. If I wanted to set something, I just pick it, import it, set it right down where I want it, and then I could preview it, and it'll run as it runs. Now, if I wanted to stop it, I wanted to be more focused. Forgive my mouse right now; it's acting up. But I would bring it down here like that, and it expands it. And these show the time frames here. It's pretty easy if you want to. Let's say you wanted. Well, there's 2 ways to cut this. Let's say right now that's at, and you can tell how long it is just by going right there. It's 10 seconds. That's a 10-second clip. I could either go to 5 seconds, and manually dial it in, and just hit right click, slice, keep the left side, and it automatically does it for you. If I wanted to put two of those together, just drag it down there again, or you can turn around and tell it to put it on, add it to the timeline. It's pretty simple. And let's say I wanted to add some music to it. I'm not going to play any music because a lot of this, I'll just go ahead and highlight it and put it underneath it. Put it underneath it. Then when I play it, it'll show the picture and it'll play the music. If I wanted to go through and edit according to the, I would just tell it to show the waveform so that I could make cuts where their beats were at.
Right.
Or I could go back and tell it to show the thumbnail, which is just a picture of the sound. It's pretty simple. You cut. It's kind of like old school where you cut and paste. The only thing is there's a snipping tool. Not a snipping tool. There's a thing that will attach it. You just bring it up to it, and it automatically drags it to it.
Right. But that's what Filmora is pretty much the same thing like that, except for you can have more than 5 tracks. It has a center track, which is like track 1, and that's track 1 is your main track, and then track 2. Track 2 might play over top of it, but I know that they've got several music tracks or volume tracks, so you can put talkovers in it also.
You can go through and adjust the volume really easily.
Yep.
You just go to volume. You can either do it at start of the clip, end of the clip, or the entire clip, and choose 40%, and it will go through and change it to 40%. On these pictures, if this is a little bit more advanced view, but if you wanted that 5 second to turn into a 2 second, you just click right there and bam, and it's 2 seconds long. It's really easy to work with. Now, I've had to learn a couple of things about it to get what I want it to do. But as far as a basic video, it's real simple. And I mean, maybe I'm just used to the simple view of it or whatever, or simple use. I don't know what happened.
I think everybody gets used to whatever they're using. When I first started doing the YouTube over a year ago, I started with an AVS. That was a $50 program, and it was okay, but you didn't have any. You couldn't add a whole lot of extra stuff. It didn't have a lot of extra with it. So I talked to somebody who did a lot. Well, I talked to Jason from College Hill Farms, and he told me look at Filmora, and he goes, you can buy Filmora for $80, or and you had like a 10-day trial period. You do it for nothing 10 days. I think that's what it was, and that's why I came home and checked it out from after talking to him about it, and I was like, well, this is a lot easier. So I just downloaded and started using it and stopped using my AVS.
Okay.
I don't know where Mitchell went to. I don't know if he left a comment.
I don't know.
He's still in the thing. I don't know if he just
I spent a lot of time today working on that video, trying to get it ready. And I had to go through it. That what I was just showing there, Marines and Army Mom. Most of them I went through and just took a snippet, a copy of their page. And sometimes I would add, if they didn't have like their name above it or in the middle, I would go through and maybe just add some text, or if I thought like it didn't have their name there in the banner, I would add it, either there or below if there seemed to be room, wherever it seemed to fit best. But on that particular one, Marines and Army Mom is a supporter, but isn't a content creator. So she didn't have any content listed there. Didn't have a banner, And as soon as I can figure out a way to contact her, I'm gonna send her that uh, that banner that I just showed, so she can add that to her channel if she'd like. Anyhow, hey,
Scratchy
Scratchy
P.
Pete.
Scratchy P. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you.
you're good. The
So, does anybody in here have any questions about numbers? We can
well,
look at numbers. We can look at, some analytics. I have some. No, I have. Well, I'm up to Gary. You'll be you happy to hear this. I'm up to 737 subscribers.
that's awesome.
I've picked up. Oh shoot, what did I pick up? I can't remember. I had it in my head earlier. In the last 7 days, I've had 22 new subscribers.
Cool. You want
And
to figure out what you want to see what you picked up yesterday?
Have a message.
yesterday.
Yeah. Would you like to know how to? I mean, you probably already know, but would you like to know how to see what you picked up yesterday?
And how you want to do that? How you think about doing that? Because I've got that program.
What program is that?
I've got the. Oh shoot!
Oh, you talking about you talk? Oh, I know what you're talking
I
about.
got two of them.
You got
I got two buddy,
yeah.
and I've got, which is new, and then I've got Social Blade.
Yeah. Well, there's an easier way to do it than having to go to. Well, I guess it probably wouldn't be too hard to go
Social
to that.
Blade says I picked up on Friday. I picked up 12 new subscribers on Friday.
Excellent.
I had one on Thursday, 7 on Wednesday. Then on Tuesday, I lost one, and on last Monday, I lost 2. So
Okay.
and then last Sunday, I had 7. So from last Friday to now, I picked up. Let's see, that's 14. That's 10. I picked up 23 new subscribers in a week.
Cool. You can actually go through. Let me share this again. Just looking at my. If you want to put my, I don't. Do you want to put my screen up? All you got to do is go over here to live count over on the right side. My phone must be messing with my Wi-Fi must be messing with my mouse. So we go over here to live count, just go to that, and it kind of shows you March 17th. Well, today is March 17th. It counts at 2065, 16th, 2062. So I guess from the 15th to the 17th, 2 days, I guess I've gotten 15
So now you're doing that on which program?
on YouTube. YouTube will show you it.
Okay,
Just
so you go to analytics. All right.
Yeah, just go to analytics,
Yeah.
then go over to your live count.
To live. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got. Okay, I can see that. I got that. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. Yeah. Well, it says now I'm at 738, so I picked up another one since we started doing this. Well, the thing is, I'm getting ahead of steam, type thing where I'm picking up people every day, and I want to do a giveaway, 1,000 giveaway, and I was thinking that originally I would be doing that about September, but if it keeps going like this is going, which I'm getting 23 to a week, it could be a lot sooner than September.
Yeah. I mean, all the projections in the world don't necessarily mean a whole lot when they can't predict what you're going to put out. They really can't predict, how well you're going to do on any given thing.
Right.
I like projections. I like projections because it kind of gives me an idea. At least it provides a little bit of emphasis for trying to, stick to the course you're on. But you can also use it, I think, to let's see, content. Let me see if it.
Sorry, my radio's going off.
Oh, you're all right. You can go through and
Midway copy tones. Thank you, Central.
You got to go.
No, I just had it was copy tones. Yeah, they do.
Oh.
They do tones every night. It's around 7 o'clock, and they test everything.
Okay.
They test them, and I just had I just happened to be on it, so I just answered it.
If you would share this, and we'll take a look at it. This
There
is
you go.
just this is under content, under an analytics, and it'll show you that videos that have above typical, where they stay higher than normal in the beginning, and then
Right.
some where they drop a lot faster. And you can literally pinpoint, where something goes and where it's at what point during the video. You can go through and pay attention to the things that people are looking at and people are skipping.
Right.
The goal is to have a highly watched video. There's one of my videos. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong word. That's not really the one I was looking for, but it'll give us something to look at. And this particular one, which is withering, is close to what average, but it's a little bit below. If I was to look up $5 word, ameliorate. Let's see. And is that the one? Don't know. Don't remember. You'd have to go over to the analytics part rather than the details. And, that one's above average. So apparently,
That one was. Is that one of the member ones?
Do I now?
Is that one of the member ones?
No, this is just an old one. It's one of the earlier ones that I did. For that matter, I guess I could go through. Let me go to analytics and content. There's one that I really like that I think is funny. Let's see. Content. Let's just reverse it. And we'll look at the old ones. See, those first three I set to private. They're so bad.
Hey, you know what? I look at put my bad ones up there too, because then I can go back and people can see where I was and where I'm at. I mean, they can tell me if I'm improving or not.
Well, I had mine up there for a long time. Nobody really watched them anyhow, so I didn't figure it's a bad thing to take them and make them private. I still got them. The only thing it didn't tell you anything, didn't show you how to do anything. All I was trying to do with those is trying to make that one was kind of interesting in that I was working so hard on all the editing.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, Gary. Since I see all you're doing your vegetables and stuff, have you started any seeds yet?
Do I now? Have I had started seeds? No.
Yeah.
No, I have not. Every time I keep wanting to, but I hadn't gotten around to doing it.
I got a lot of seeds started, man.
Well,
all I have to say is my bean seeds did not do any good. They all rotted in the dirt. Well, I don't know why, but we started 144 seeds, and I think probably we got 100 seeds and plants. They came up, so I got some more to start doing again and replant. I got to replant some of them and get them ready to start moving outside.
Well, I've gotten to where I'm staying so busy with what I'm doing.
Oh, I know.
And And I don't even know if I've got my $5 words on here. I don't see the one I'm looking for.
Let's see if there's anybody that has any questions at all. I haven't seen any questions pop up, Gary.
Well, that's okay.
We told her we were bringing you questions, and then maybe maybe some of these guys should be up and answer some of my questions.
Well, there's another explanation for it, if you ask me.
Which is
Some of the folks in here may not be interested in analytics or have any questions, and if so, that's fine, as well. Or maybe it's possible they just coming in because they like you.
yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
What's here? I don't know who is still in the chat. I have to figure out how to check it out. But
Go to the top chat, and it looks like we've got in the last few minutes. If you're still here, if you'd hit something on the enter, it'd be easier to see you. But right now we've got Hiking with Jackie Boy, Scratching Pete PA, and the Stock Explorer. The last 3 to make comments.
Right. I saw that. So I'll Nora, when I get the shirt done, I'll bring you up to get your approval on it before I put it into production. So I would show my shirt, the first shirt I'm coming out with, but I don't want to be. I'm maybe too soon before I have it printed out. I don't want anybody maybe grabbing my idea and making shirts, and I'm left holding the bag type thing. So I'm going to hold off on my shirt that I have until I actually get some produced.
I don't know. It seems to me, I don't know. It's a good question. Last year they did the Pocky One Chip Challenge and had 4 people up there, with Al and BC Gerbs and let's see, I think Expeditionary Johnny was in on it, and Devil Dog was in on it. And BC Gerbs went out pretty real quick. I think Johnny was in there for like 7 minutes before he went and got something to drink. But Al and Devil Dog, Al and Eddie both stayed over. I think it was an hour without drinking anything.
An hour without drinking anything, huh?
After, yeah. But, the funny thing about that, they had been promoting it and trying to get folks, committed to doing it and, talking about it for, I don't know, maybe a month before. Well, I know, and I won't mention who it was, but I know that somebody else decided that they were going to try the same thing, but they thought, maybe they could get, a jump on things and do it beforehand. But when they did it, hardly anybody watched it. But there's quite a few that watched, Al's because of the promotion.
Well, I've been talking to people. Matter of fact, talking to Mitchell about it also. But I've talked to a few people about what the price would be and stuff like that. Because nothing against what you're using, Gary. But I ordered that shirt 2 weeks ago, and I haven't seen anything from them yet.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody today or yesterday. Maybe it was Van Box D last night. She was talking about how she didn't feel like they had a very good service or products.
Well, and I've talked to some people about Bonfire, and they said that people that I actually have made shirts, they didn't like the shirts because they seemed like they were off centered. And Jackie Boy was there. He knew what I'm talking about, but this person said that he thought his shirts were all centered, and he actually showed me some shirts, and a couple of them may have been off a little bit, but I don't know if it was. Who knows? I mean, it could have been the way it was. He had put it on. I don't know, but that he thought Bonfire was pretty fast at producing them and getting them out, but he didn't think the way they print them was very well. And so I have a friend of mine in California who has a printing company, and I could have him print me shirts and stuff, and he could print them and send them to me. But it's just so long to get them, plus all the shipping to get them here.
Right. And then just turn around and ship them out.
Right. It was this shirt I'm wearing right now, which is the one that has my logo on it. I'll show you the front. There's a front, and then here's the back. I don't know if you will see it. Let me know if I'm not in the picture. Let's see. Am I
I can
fixed
see it.
there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, that's the back. I had he made us about 2 dozen shirts, and for the family members, my 2 sons and uh, their well, actually, the one son has his kids, which are my grandkids, and his girlfriend and stuff. And my wife and I, we made enough shirts we'd all have it. I think it was about 2 dozen shirts we got total, and I got a couple extra shirts if somebody that I know wanted a shirt, I could have it, give it to them, or I give away a shirt to somebody if they wanted one.
Yeah.
And it cost me $22 a piece. And it's a good quality shirt. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a very, very good quality shirt.
Sure.
But I can't afford to be putting a bunch of money out on shirts and then hold them until somebody
And
decides
definitely,
they want to buy one. You know,
right. And then you got to have so many different sizes,
the
and you got
colors.
to, that's the problem that you run into, I guess, once you start dealing with merchandise.
Right.
I
Well, and I
I
don't
hadn't.
know, but did we? You say that dealing with merchandise. I don't know if we're at the quantity where it's justifiable for you
That's
to
to have
hold
merchandise.
inventory. Now, like if you're talking like these big channels where they do hold the mass quantities so they can get better deals on it and then in turn make more money, yes. But I think the bonfires and the people that can produce it for you, it may be a cheaper route to go in the short term,
But not in the long term.
but not in the long term.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. For me, I don't know. Anytime it comes to merchandise, it's 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 not. It's never and never will be. I don't think one of my top priorities. Just because the fact that well,
It's not
I'm
really top priority for me, Gary. It's just an idea. I mean, I come up with these out of nowhere. These ideas pop in my head when I'm sleeping, and I think, hell, that's a good idea. I should think of. And I have these logos and stuff, and
yeah.
like the one for Nora. The T-shirt. The gonna do is I'm gonna take a picture of that goat and have that goat's face on the T-shirt and have her name put on it.
Right,
And
I understand.
I mean,
And
things like that pop up, and I may only have make enough of them for my family to wear.
right.
And maybe Nora
Well,
might buy one. Who
let
knows?
me let me make a suggestion that I like the idea of the creative idea or aspect of it, and going through and thinking of that's just like I've got an idea. I think I'm going to turn it into a background. Um, but I would suggest, I don't know that there's a lot of people out there that want to own Belt Loop 29 merchandise. I know that that a couple people I think have bought them. Not
I
a
have.
whole lot, I don't think, and I'm very appreciative of that. But I think that maybe something that you could do with it, and maybe something I could do. And this is what I'm really thinking is when because I've got ideas about every now and then I'll come up with an idea for a design or something that would look cool or something I would enjoy. I think I'm going to turn those into like backgrounds or just something for like a video or something and try to create it on. I have to use several different programs typically when I go to do something. I'll use Paint 3D when I'm trying to make something a transparent, background on it, so I can go through and put it over the top of something. I have
Right.
to use, I use Canva when I'm, but I'm not going to use the paid version, and which does give you a few more tools. But I use that free version, and I try to go through um, do some designs on it. Sometimes it can get kind of difficult. I don't know if you've seen the one I did for the pop up. You're all welcome pop up. Had a little Jack in the Box out on the side with the microphone, coming out.
I'll
I
have to
didn't
check
even.
that one out. I missed that one.
Well, it's no big deal, but it took me a long time to figure out how to get that box just right. Because in Canva, you don't exactly have all the tools needed to do what you want to do. So you got to kind of figure out how to twist and turn things to get it to look right.
Yeah, I understand. It's like I started off the shirt in Canva, because you showed it to me, and I started doing it off in Canva, and I thought, what, how come I can't do this stuff? And so I happened to call Eddie and say, hey, I'm trying to make the shirt. And he says, yeah. I said, well, Gary's at work, and I don't want to bother Gary at work. I said, I started off the Canva. He goes, well, do you have Paint 3D? And I said, well, yeah, I've not touched it. I haven't been honest. I haven't touched any of those paint programs or any of those editing programs. So I've not messed with those things. So, it takes time to learn them, for one, which I don't have the problem learning them, but it takes time to learn them. And, I run on a farm, so when the weather gets good, which is getting close here, I'm not going to be sitting at this computer as much. I'll be pumping out videos, but I'll be doing most stuff outside, and I'll be outside. Right. So I was like, I really don't have the time to learn Canva really well or Paint 3D real well. So Eddie walked me through it and helped me make the shirt. And he says, and put it on. He said, you got to put it on in 3D to make it transparent. And he goes, but you have to own 3D, and you don't own it. And I said, okay. So he got DJ on there. So I emailed the DJ. He made a transparency for me and sent it back to me. So I got the shirt, the actual logo shirt now. What? Sorry.
So there's actually a website you can do to do transparent photos for free. You just download it to it and pick which transparency you want, and then you can download it back to your computer.
Okay. I had to remove the background. If you saw the picture I showed you earlier, there was a background of the ground and everything of that area, and yeah. I hadn't learned how to remove it, and I was going there and erasing it a little at a time. And he said, no. He goes, that's going to take you forever. I said, yeah, I already got about 3 hours on this. He goes, no. Let me show you how to make it where you just do it. So he showed it. Of course, now Eddie just shows you fast, and he tells you fast, and I did it. But if you ask me how I did it, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be able to remember until I fumble my way through it again. But I did it, like he said, and we made the shirt. And I wanted to get the shirt out because I'd like to have some of those shirts when I go to the meetup. Not necessarily for to sell or anything, but if somebody would say, hey, I like that shirt, I like to have it, I might just give it to them. That's one reason I asked you about the price, Mitchell, so I can give it, if I want to give shirts away, it's not going to cost me, $25 every time,
Yeah.
Hoga said she was looking for a camo shirt, but couldn't find any. That's a very good point.
So the one I use it's the website I use, it's remove. It's REMOVAL.ai. And it's
REMOVAL.
Hang on a sec. I'll just share I'll put it in the private chat.
Okay.
All right. Let me ask a question real quick because I want to make sure that I understand what you're talking about. Are you talking about making a transparency? You talk about making something.
This one's for background removing. And you don't have to own anything. You can just go there and do it for free. And then there's a transparent one too, which I'll get the link for it too.
Do you have Windows 10, Jerry?
I have Windows 11.
I have 11.
Have 11?
Yep.
And I would think that would have it on Paint 3D where you.
It has on there, but that's what I said. Eddie showed me how to use it because I had not gone through all of it before. I'd never even opened it, and he showed me how to go in to Paint 3D and how to click on it and remove it, and then how to fix it because it's only placed out like part of the leg removed. And he showed me how to take that. I mean, that's stuff I can go back and do again. I've learned that part.
All right, well, I guess what I'm not understanding is he said that you didn't have the capability of doing something transparent.
Yeah, it didn't have the transparency on 3D unless you pay for it. to make
on
it
3D.
transparent. Right.
3D. I
So
always do my stuff in 2D.
you see, and I did the we wanted to put words to it, so I put words to it,
Yeah.
and I had to have the picture and then the words to it, and we went through and he said, well, you can't get this because you have to, if you buy it, you get these certain fonts. If you don't buy it, you don't get the fonts, which I understand. They want you to buy the program, which is I understand. I'm not an idiot about that stuff. But I couldn't make it transparent. It would have a white background unless I made it transparent and make a box with a white background. So
Well,
DJ, he paid for the version of 3D. So I emailed him what I had. He took what I had, made it transparent, and sent it back to me so I can have that put on a shirt and it won't have a white background on it. It will just be
okay.
of what I wanted to have.
So
That makes
Jerry,
sense?
Go ahead.
I put them both in the private chat.
Okay.
And those are completely free. You can go to those and do it. I also have Adobe, the full version of Adobe.
Yeah.
But I pay for it every year.
Well,
Right.
there is a way to get a transparent background on Paint 3D, and it's fairly simple, fairly easy to do. I watched a video. I had to watch a video on how to do it.
Well, that's what he's saying, Gary. He said you can do it. It's not a free setting.
No, it is free. I hadn't paid for it.
Oh,
It is free.
okay.
I'll show you. Take a look. Put this up on the screen. It won't take but a second.
Okay. There you go.
All right, that's Paint 3D. Insert. Just pick a picture. How about we go? Let's find a picture. Pictures from the PC. All right, there's a picture of me. We got it uploaded.
Who's that?
That's me.
No way.
It is me back in my youth.
Oh, okay.
That was when I was dating my wife. All right, we're gonna add stuff to it. And you'd have to go through and spend a little time.
Right. Enlarge it. That's what he taught me.
All right, and remove some right here. And I'm not going to worry too much with it because it really doesn't matter what is
Right. That's what he showed me,
all right.
Gary.
All right, now
removing that.
here's what you do after that. You go to finish, back it off, take it off to the side, highlight that, delete it, put this back, put it back there, and then you go through and click on menu, save as, image, and then click on transparency. Now I didn't take enough time to do it properly, but it'll then save it as headshot transparent. It doesn't really matter what the name is, but save it. All right, now let's say I wanted to interject that on, I'll exit out. Let's say I wanted to go over to Canva, just for example, which is typically what I do. Come on. Go to Canva, log in. I always go to create a design, custom size, 2048. Let's say I took just something I've uploaded. All right, right there. All right, let's upload a file. Go to downloads, because that's where I downloaded it. Should be in download. Well, let me find where I put it.
Headshot.
Where's my headshot? Oh, heavy city. Well, that's in order though, I think.
Why don't you just type it in the box?
Good idea. Yeah, it's not in there. Probably under D. I think that's where I've moved most of mine. So my head, I got to find where I downloaded.
That's my problem is I forget where I put it, or
Well,
downloaded or copy it or whatever to go someplace I don't want it to go.
now I got to go look in here. And
You
oh,
can
it
search
might have
by
gone under. I may have to go download another one just to see where it saves to.
You can. Never mind.
Well, I can open that back up. What you got in mind?
You can do by dates. Go down to the bottom the bottom right of your screen where it has the little picture and the little
Yeah.
file name, and click on the file name. And now you can go up here by dates and date modify down right
Okay.
there, and then put in today's date.
Today's date is 3. Just put it in here.
Yeah, you click the little arrow. There's a little arrow off to the side of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't see it. It could have returned it to the file it was in.
Yeah.
More than likely it did.
Well, that's basically what I did with this picture. Is what you just did. He showed me how to do that.
All right, but see, I saved it though with a transparent background.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is make sure you click on that transparent when you go to save
Right.
it.
Okay. When I went to my transparent, it was grayed out.
Well, maybe that's a problem with 11.
That may be. I don't know.
Because I don't, let's see. This is one reason why some of these things take me so long to do. Because I'm, all right, and I'm not going to worry with all that. I'm just going to turn around and click on save. If I can figure out where the save button is. Oh, yeah. Save as. Image. All right, it looks like it's going to kinfolk. Maybe
There
right
it is.
here.
There's your picture right there, Gary.
Yeah, it is. All right, so it's in kinfolk. All right, I know where it's at. Don't save. All right. So if I'm going to upload the file, all I got to do is go to 3 or D, go to member related, go to channel text, kinfolk right there. There it is. It'll upload it. And then all I got to do is take it and put it right there. I can put it wherever I want. And it's, it's the same transparency. It blocked out all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So now
I'll have to try it again because I got to go out and take pictures of the Nora the goat and come up with a real good pictures. I know what I have in my head I'd like to have, but trying to get that picture again, that goat to stand in that position is going to maybe a little bit difficult. You know how baby goats are.
Yeah. Well, it's been my experience on a lot of, when I'm doing videos on shorts, man, I just shoot. I ain't trying to tell anybody else how to do theirs, but to me, it seems simple. Click, upload.
We probably should put our disclaimer out. So we haven't done it in an hour.
Could be, but
our disclaimer is that we're not experts at what anything we say on here. So please,
that's
don't take it as gospel. Because we're not
experts.
We're not experts. We're just putting this out there for the people who might want to know, or with some stuff we might know, and there's some things on here other people might know. Like there's things that Mitchell knows, and that's what this whole.
Be advised. We ain't experts.
That's right. We ain't not.
Try these things at your own risk. And
so
we ain't
South Texas Cattle and Hay came in.
Hey, so that's a new name. I've not seen that name before.
That's new to me too.
Welcome. So
By the way, one thing you may want to do in the description after this is up there and what have you, you may want to go ahead and put a link to me and Mitchell in there so that this video will be linked with both his and mine.
Okay, hold on. We're do that where?
Oh, in the description.
In the description. Okay. Go back and do it later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it right now.
Okay.
But
And it also helps your searchability.
Yeah.
That also helps your searchability because then whenever someone types in one of our names, your video will pop up somewhere in it.
Okay.
Because you added us to the description.
When I just said welcome, remind me of Gomer Pyle, and one of those that just flashed to my head. Welcome.
By the way, Shirley, what time y'all gonna be in town? Do you know? Oh, they're supposed to come up to Ridgeland tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Oh, we're gonna go and eat. Good to see you, Shirley. I look forward to meeting you and Brian in person.
Thanks for the thumbs up, South Texas.
That reminds me, I need to make sure my GoPro is
Charged.
Yep.
Mitchell's got his GoPro. Is that a 10 or 11?
It's an 8.
8. Okay.
This thing is ran through my square baler.
Really?
Yeah, and I had to bust like 15 bales of hay out to find the darn thing.
Was it still running?
Yeah.
So do you have that on a video? I've not seen that where we went to the baler.
I didn't ever post it because I was saying some pretty colorful words.
Yeah, but you ought to put that in. That'd be cool to see. That would be. I would watch that probably a couple times. You got to put that on a thing and just put a disclaimer out there, or go in and edit the beep out the words.
Yeah,
I've done that before. I've done that. I've actually put a beep in it. On one of my videos, I don't remember which video it was, but one of my oldest son, he's ex-military, and so he's got a foul mouth, and sometimes he doesn't think about what he's saying. And he were driving along in the mule, and I got the camera going, and he cusses it. I look at him and goes, "Oh, I forgot all about that." Well, I go back and put a beep over it so you don't actually hear the cuss word. That was before YouTube made their updates where they're now allowing accidental, I call it accidental cuss words, as long as you don't cuss in the first 7 seconds and they're not dropping F-bombs all the time, they'll allow it. So to me, it's not necessary. That's just part of his nature of being in the military, that, it's, the loose lips type thing,
Yeah.
So I just went through and put a beep on it. So you watch the videos, you hear beep. Well, that's where somebody said something they shouldn't have said.
Yeah, I did that in the beginning of mine too. So one of that big buck that I had, we called him Moscow. So he was chasing me, and he's big. I think you commented on the video, Jerry, of him standing up like he's about to headbutt me.
Yeah.
He ends up getting me down on the ground, and because he is massive, and
he had no horns either, did he?
No, he has horns.
Oh, he has horns. Yeah, mine's the biggest. He's polled. He has no horns, but he was doing that with my younger male buck that I have, and he has horns, and I'm thinking, it's gonna be hard, or you gotta be dumb. I mean, you're smacking your head with no horns to a goat that has horns. I would think you would only do it a couple times and then walk away, shaking your head. But he did that, and he's like your big one, like yours. I saw that. But I think I'd like to see that video, though. So I think that'd be a cool video to watch it go through the baler, and then you could hear you looking for it.
Yeah. So there was another time it went in the round baler. It went. So I have an M&W little baler for doing little small stuff where I don't want to get all my big stuff out. And it's an open chamber baler, and it gets sucked up in the pickup on it because I was doing one of those B-rolls. And I was just driving over it. Well, when I hit the clutch and I didn't hit the brake because I thought I was going to stop, and I didn't stop.
Yeah. Hey, Scout, can you drop his link in the chat, please? I think that's what he's asking about, to drop his link in the chat. Or one of my moderators do that for me. I appreciate it.
But yeah, it was
There
pretty
it
neat.
is.
Oh, did someone get it already?
Yeah. Scout got it for me. She's pretty good at that stuff, so she got it.
I wasn't over there.
It's all right. It's all right. You're up to the panel, and I'd rather have you talk Gary and I than have to worry about dropping links and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he wanted. I think that's what he's asking. That he says he's subbed to our channel, and he wanted to have a link to view viewers channels. I think that's what he's asking, isn't it, Gary?
I would like some of your viewers' links as well. Oh,
do you have everybody set up for people to drop their link?
So what?
Do you have the Nightbot set up where they can drop?
I don't have a Nightbot.
Okay.
You haven't helped me set that up yet. I don't have it.
That's okay. See, I'd inquire if you could just randomly drop some links to some of the viewers. That would be appreciated.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what Nora
doing.
Any mods that I've got.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
I could.
I haven't. I looked at my Nightbot, but then I did go in and set up an account and start doing that stuff. I thought I'd wait till you asked me, or until Eddie asked me, why is it not working? Then set one up.
That's the reason why I don't have it, is because Eddie kept telling me I had to have it. I was like, I have to, do I?
And I've been lucky because I haven't had. Maybe I shouldn't even say that, but I haven't had any problems with trolls. That I know of.
So that's one of the things that I learned over at Boots and Bounty. On the troll portion, I set it up to be a member for 1 minute. So if they want to come in and participate for 1 minute, and it kind of keeps the trolls out. Now, is there going to be somebody spamming links? Probably would be. I'm not saying it's 100% foolproof, but it is definitely possible for people to sit and wait and then start, putting in appropriate stuff.
Where do you set that up at? Set the slow-mo up or any of that stuff?
So you go to YouTube Studio.
Okay.
And then you go to your live that you have scheduled. And then on the left-hand side, there's Customize. And it's the second one down. And then if you look over where everything will change over there, you can go to slow mode, live chat replay, and subscriber mode.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
And if you need help with that, setting that part up next time you do one, Jerry.
Yeah, well, there'll be a live tomorrow night. I have to set it up. Tomorrow is the third Saturday of the month. I'll be doing my fireman breakfast again, and I'll be cooking. And I'm going to try to set the camera up at a different location so you can see the grill and see what is going on at the grill. And unfortunately, I can't put a camera behind the grill because it's up against the wall. But I'm going to set it up for people to come in and watch it. I mean, if people come in and watch, it usually runs like 2.5 hours long, and if they come in and watch, that's fine. I've had Scout was in there before, and Heather came in before, and Linda came in before, and they sat there and watched it, like, I think the whole time. And I end up getting the first time I did it, I end up in Skinner Farms. I think that's Josh, isn't it? Skinner Farms.
Joshy Poo.
Yeah. I end up having at the end of it, I did it just through YouTube. And at the end of it, YouTube came up when I closed it out. It came up and told me I had gained 21 hours of viewing time, and it had this analysis at the end of the video on my camera, on my phone. Actually, it was on my phone. It told me I had 21 hours and some odd seconds, or 21. I gained 21 hours, so many minutes, so many seconds of viewing time, and I had an average of, I think it was 14 people in there, and the high at one time was 19. And it even told me how long the average person, the average of all the people, how long they watched was the average, which StreamYard doesn't do that when I do at the end of a stream, but
that's one of the nice things about YouTube. If you do it
right.
from YouTube, I just wish that YouTube would allow you to have a panel.
Yeah.
If they would allow you to have a panel, I think it would make it.
Well,
you wouldn't need StreamYard then, really.
Hang on, Mitchell. From what I understand, they're starting to do that.
Yeah. No, I've been reading that too, Gary. But it's not implemented yet. There is a channel that is doing it currently. But yeah, they're testing it, I guess.
Okay.
It's a big channel though.
We know.
That's one thing. These smaller channels. It's nice to find other smaller channels, because when I first started YouTube, everything they showed me was a huge channel, or at least larger channels. Right. It was rare to find something from a channel that was under 1,000 viewers, or under really 20,000 or whatever.
Let's just say 5,000. I don't think.
The smaller channel, the harder it is. Even when you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, the most people I hang out with are like Mitchell, who's got a little over 1,000. You've got a little over 2,000. I don't really have any. I mean, in my community, I don't think there is any. I know of this at over 10,000. Well, let's see. Nora's got, I think she's got 5,000 or 6,000.
Nora has what she's got. Nora, the Stock Explorer.
Yeah,
she's at 1.56 thousand.
Oh, she at 1.5. That's where it comes from. Anyways, I was going to say that Lady D last night that was in the group chat last night. She has 27,000 subscribers. I was like, wow. Yeah, to me, that's just. I was like, I don't know what to say, because I've never seen. I mean, I have seen channels that have that, but I've not seen channels that are coming on to groups like or to group chats.
Hey, Jerry, go back and look at my barbecue BBQ Gurus Invited, or something like that. There's a fella in there on panel named Russ that has over 240 some odd thousand subscribers. I've got a couple. I think we had somebody in there. Dead Broke Barbecue came in. He's got around 50,000. My friend Joe he's from Madison, Mississippi. He's got 46,000. It is unusual though to have those. You do run into them occasionally. I know Russ over at Smoky Ribs Barbecue, which is the one I was thinking of, that's over 250,000, something like that, subscribers. He's I see him from time to time in some of the barbecue chats and some of their live streams, but it don't happen that often.
No. Well, I mean, I know Mitchell's seen Daniel Arms and in Dutch. They're way up there in the like Daniel 700, almost 800,000, and he doesn't even. I mean, he does lives, but it's very, very seldom. It's just him and his wife. They don't do any panels. They don't do any of that stuff, and I haven't seen Dutch live in a long time.
They just did one not too long ago, like a week or two ago. Yeah, because they have that deal coming up. That
right. Prior, we're gonna go to that too.
So Hidden Heights Farm and him both they did one the other day.
But you don't see them in like panels like us. I mean, they don't come into panels of under. I mean, if they do, I don't see it very often. They come in.
But maybe they just don't do it because they don't get invited, or they don't think that it's interesting enough for them.
But the knowledge they have,
Well,
I mean,
right. I mean,
I want to say this first. This is my opinion of the bigger channels. I have gone to a creator conference, all right, and a lot of people who watch my channel with that conference also, and they teach us how to create more and come up with things and ideas and stuff, and they tell you that this is going to help you. Well, yeah, it helps you, and they say we're going to help your channel. Well, they don't really help your channel. They just give you ideas on how to streamline what you're doing already, so you're not sitting there fumbling through as much. But they don't really promote your channel like Gary's promoting my channel. He's promoting my channel so many times it's ridiculous. I feel like I'm going to owe him something because I've got these notices that he's mentioned my channel, and I go and watch the view, and he's up there talking about, oh yeah, you need to check out Jerry Butler Family Farms. I'm going like, well, I really appreciate that, but they don't not once has Dutch ever said anything about one of those channels who went to the conference. I even put a video about the conference afterwards. It was a good conference. Don't get me wrong. It was a good conference. I learned a lot. I met a lot of small channels, but it seemed like, and this is my opinion again, maybe I'm being sour grapes or something, but it seemed like to me, unless you were in the 5 or more thousand group, hey Jesse, if you were in the 5 or more thousand group of subscribers, they wouldn't even. I mean, they talk to you personally, but they wouldn't be on video with you, talking to you. They won't. They wouldn't invite you over. And I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm a survivor. I love Lester. I love Jamie. They were nice as heck, and they're nice as people. And what you see on their videos, it's how they are. But Jamie was supposed to say she was going to help me with Facebook, and she hasn't. It's been almost a year now. She hasn't called me once to help me get my Facebook straightened out. So I just basically bailed on the Facebook because I can't figure out how to link the damn pages together. And I just don't want to sit there and watch and try to fumble my way through it.
Hey, did you see Southern Texas cattle and hay?
Dutch and I.
Yeah. That's where.
That's where you came from me to get to me from Dutch. That's interesting.
That's cool.
It's like I'm just kidding, Jerry.
I've not once ever got any response from Dutch on anything. Well, I've emailed them stuff.
I think when you're dealing with a lot of these bigger channels, and even I'm a small channel, but even as small as I am, I'm bigger than I was, and I know good and well that the bigger you get, even as a small channel, my workload on YouTube has more than doubled.
Right.
And since I got monetized.
And that's what I was going to say too.
That's why they haven't done do it.
And you have everybody asking for help.
Oh, I know.
Right.
It's like Eddie. I hate to ask Eddie for any help. I mean, I really do. I hate to ask him for help, and I really hate to ask Gary for help because I know Gary still works. I don't. I'm retired. I work on the farm, but I'm retired. I don't have to go punch a time clock. If I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I don't have to go punch a clock and have somebody tell me, hey, you need to be here sooner or whatever. If my cows are out there bellowing, they're out there bellowing, and I have to listen to it. It's nobody else has to listen to it. I do. So
Gary,
yes.
Look at it like this, brother. Anytime you want help, don't hesitate to call me.
Yeah, I know.
I really don't talk with a lot of people. There's about 3 people I talk with semi-daily, and one of them is my wife, one of them is Devil Dog, and one of them is my friend Jeremiah. That me and him been friends a long time, and but I'm more than happy that I'll spend an hour or 2 with people if they call and want to know something or my opinion on something. That don't mean I'm gonna be perfect on it. Again, I'm no expert.
Right.
But,
I understand.
I do.
It is Gary. That's it. Devil Dog says the same thing. But look, you and I both know how busy he is, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, he likes it. He
likes being busy like that.
I think he likes feeling, and I like Eddie. but he has this have to feel needed.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. There's just people that have to feel needed, and I think
And he likes to work under the gun.
right, and there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it either. I know, but like that T-shirt, I said, hey, can you just point me in the right direction? And and of course, I should have known better, because as soon as I said that, oh, just let me help you do this. We'll get this done real quick. And, oh, just share. Come over here, email this to me, do that. I'm going like, okay, I know that he knows how to do it, and I know he'll help me do it. But if I keep letting him do all this stuff for me, then I'm never going to learn to do it. And heck of a guy. Give your shirt off his back, which is it's for situations he's in with with work wise and not having work and being, to me it's amazing. I'm glad they started doing the stickers, because I'll just get my stickers from them no matter what. It helps them out. But there's you got a point that you got to start wanting to do your things yourself, and I want to help other people. I want to help other people. That's part of me being a fire department. I wouldn't be on the fire department if I didn't want to help other people. That's just me. But if I can't help others, I can't help myself. And that's how sometimes I feel like Eddie is. He wants to help others, but he stops helping himself first. And there's a point you got to help yourself before you can help others. Anyway, we've got way off our subject about numbers and stuff. But anyway, I apologize for anybody who came here and wanted to learn about analytics and stuff. But it's just open forum, and I'll open it up if anybody wants to come up. We can open it up, and if that's all right with you guys.
It's fine with me. It's up to y'all.
I'm just holding the chicken. It's you're doing the killing here.
Well, I know, but there you guys. I posted it. Anybody wants to come on in? Yeah, at least I can do that without having help, huh, Gary? I did that. Gary had to help me do that the first time.
The fact is, all this is repetition, and the more you do it, the more you do it, the easier and second nature it becomes. So,
yeah, you're right. I understand. But I honestly, be honest with you, sometimes I sit here and I think I shouldn't really be here. I should be out digging a hole or something for another post, or I should be out on the farm doing something. And my wife said, well, it's a little wet out there. You don't want to go out there and slump in the mud and swamp and everything. So I kind of get an excuse of not going out there, because she kind of makes me. My wife's an enabler. She enables me to sit here at the computer.
Jesse, come on up, brother.
Yeah, Jesse.
I wonder if my semi-load of hay just showed up.
You have to buy more hay?
Yeah.
Well, I already did. I bought 2 loads of hay, and I'm down to like 10 bales left. But I just put the cows out in the big summer grass that's hasn't started growing yet, and they're out there cleaning up from last year. And
no, it wasn't it.
And so I don't want to buy any more hay. I need to have 150 bales to get through the year.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if that means that South Texas just subscribed to me.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thank you. I don't. One thing I do, I will point out. More than
here comes the mod father. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm sure you guys are ready. You got to hold your seat.
Jesse, come on.
Hang on. Here he comes. Hey, Jesse.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, how are you?
Oh man, we've been sick. Lisa and I have been sick for days now, since last Saturday.
Did you go to the doctor at all?
Me go to the doctor? Are you crazy?
Oh, the army guy. Don't do it. Don't go.
Look here, look, Bubba. Look here.
Yeah, I
know. Yeah, that's my doctor.
You see this right here?
We tough it out, Bubba. No.
So you don't know you had COVID. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, he just doesn't tell you the truth.
I've been
are babies when they're sick.
I've had the C, and this is not the C.
Hey, There's a difference between man flu and regular flu. Ain't that right, Jesse?
That's right. That's exactly right. You couldn't have said it any better.
Problem is, we can't get sick because we have to do everything. My
Hey.
back hurts.
Sound like my wife, Lisa.
She's right. I know. I'll give my wife credit. She does a lot of work around here.
Well, yeah, but no. So I'm sorry. I just got here. You know, we've been. I don't remember where we were at, but anyway. So I'm sorry I'm late there, Jerry.
All right.
Anyway, so I got kind of in the middle of your all's conversation, and so I don't have all the pre-conversation of what was going on. But I heard you say something about needing some help. Did you putting up a fence or something or what?
I put up a lot of fence.
I heard you say about digging a hole. You should be digging some holes, or
I got more fence to put up. Yes,
Mitchell's a rancher too. I mean, if anybody knows how to give help, and that's Mitchell. He's got a ranch. He knows how to dig post holes. You know,
I don't dig them. I got an auger that goes on the back of my tractor. I ain't digging nothing.
I got a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's free labor there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not free, but yeah, he's still got to feed him.
Bitch, let me tell you something. I've got a 35-year-old that works around the farm too, and it ain't free. It costs you a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm no more than worthless when it comes to, discussing some of the fellas you fellas do with that ranching and, big time. Hey, y'all know what y'all doing. We got some chickens.
I worked all my life to retire, so I don't have to work. So I'll just hire somebody.
I kind of believe that if you stay busy, you stay young. I mean, look at my face, Jesse. I'll be 66 on Sunday, and I don't look half at your age at all.
You don't exactly, and I'm only 29.
Yeah, I know. So I don't
work if you can look at me 29.
You see this ugly mug? You know why it looks so young? It looks young. You know why? I got the answer for it. My secret to youth is just keep fat. It pushes the wrinkles out.
Keeps wrinkles out, yeah.
That's right.
So,
it also means you're healthy too.
Yeah. So how's Susan doing? She doing all right?
She's doing wonderful. I think
her short. I've been watching her shorts. And she got stuck in the mud, and you had to go pull her out. And
I did not know about that until I got the video.
Yeah,
she did not tell me. Lee pulled her out. I had just filled that hole in the day before. I went and got dirt and put it in there, and I said, "Now you got to stay out of this area because it's going to take a while for that water to get out of that mud and harden up before we put more ruts in it." She says, "Oh yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I won't do it." And next thing I know, I get the video and I download it and I'm going, "What is this?" She goes, "That's all video on there." And then she just disappears. And so I pull it up. I pull the video up. I'm there on like, what the heck is this?
I looked at that video and I said, "What's wrong with this picture? You got ruts and a golf cart or a side-by-side stuck in the mud. And a big pile of granite right there sitting next to it.
That granite, though, I don't want to put that granite in that hole because I want grass to grow there, really. That's to go around the waters. I've been putting it around the waters because for the cows, they have to pack it down. You put some more and pack it down. So I don't want to use all that up until I'm ready to use it because I don't need it anymore around the waters. So all my tire waters have got granite put around. On my second or third round of putting granite out there. Or compaction rock is what it is.
Gary, it's just rock. You can get more rock.
Yeah, but man, I don't have rock here. My property has no rock. We have no rock in this ground. It's we find a rock out in the field and we pick it up and oh my gosh, we bring it back to the house and set next to the step. And I have people come and say, "Hey, what's this rock sitting here?" "Oh, it's a rock we found on the property." And they look at me and go like, "Hold it. You mean you have no rock in your property?"
Jerry finds a rock and he thinks, "Look, I found an ancient arrowhead."
Around here it is because it's a swamp around here. We get an inch of rain here and it lasts like 3 inches of rain. When I was cropping it and I had corn out there, we'd have rain and stuff, and all my neighbors are all complaining, "Oh, we need rain. I'm not going to be able to make corn. I'm not going to get corn this year." And I go, "Okay, well, now I think I will." And I go and harvest corn. I'm harvesting 200 bushel corn, and they're harvesting like 50 bushel corn. And they come to me and go, "What did you do special?" I said, "Nothing. It's just I happen to have the ground and my elevation for the whole 116 feet, 116 acres is 5 feet difference. So the water that comes here stays here. So it's a plus and it's a curse. I mean, it's got its good side and it's got its bad side.
Right.
I had a guy rent my land for me for 1 year, and he planted corn, and he comes out to me and he says, "I'm going to cut this to silage. We haven't had it rain." I said, "You better go out there and check your ears at first." I said, "There's a lot of corn out there." "Oh, no. Nobody's got corn this year. It's all worth just cut it for silage." I said, "Whatever, it's your corn. I don't care." He went out there and cut one round and come back in to me and got off this tractor, walked up to me, he goes, "How come you didn't tell me there was corn out there?" And I looked at him and said, "Dude, I just got done telling you that the ears are like this long and they're full." He said, "Yeah," because you didn't convince me. And I said, "Well, okay. I mean, it's not my job to convince you that your corn's it's good corn."
Yeah.
He's, "Well, I'm going to cut that as grain because there's so much corn out there." Well, he cut it and ended up getting, I think he got like 150 bushel corn that year out of there, which is good because everybody else is getting like 20.
Right.
Jesse,
Yes, sir.
did you see the live that we had late last night, or I guess technically early this morning?
No, because after I finished with Brenda's, speaking of that, Brenda, just doing our best, said something about the coin. Thank you for sending that. Well, thank you for donating it to her live. But no, I heard there was a late night one last night. But I no, we've been sick, and we went to bed.
And hey, I just didn't know. Sometimes I see you and the chat was moving so fast last night. I just didn't know if you had popped in. There was, and sorry to bring it back around to numbers and that type of thing, but we did a live stream last night, or technically it was this morning, where me and Jerry and several other people were in there streaming using that new tool, where we were each streaming to our own channel.
Right. So you're doing restream. You were doing restream.
We weren't using. We were using StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're using where you add a person.
They add their own stream.
Yeah.
They add their own stream. We had 50 people in there at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
amazing.
great.
But we also had 10 channels up on that thing on the panel.
Yeah.
I think we had up to 9 people, but I don't think not everybody was streaming.
No, Gary was hosting.
Gary was hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Brian over at the Vineyard Farmhouse, he came up, and I don't know if Gulf Coast Granny was streaming or not, but she was there for a while. And who else did we have up there? We had Box Van D is the lady's name. She came in. She wasn't streaming.
Isn't she the tattoo artist?
No, she's a singer, isn't she?
She does musician. She's got about I think she said she had about 27,000, and she does have 27,000 subscribers. So she was the biggest name.
She's a nomad.
Yeah, she's kind of like Tony over at Stone Wolf Outdoors. She's just always on the go. But she's got a box van, I guess, that she's got fixed up, and she does some singing and what have you. Let's see, who else do we have in there?
Nate.
Yeah, well, I said you first.
Yeah, but no, I said Nate. What was it? I don't know.
Nate, from Land Cloud Outdoor or Adventures, I think it was. I mean, we had a
Des was in there.
Do I know?
Des was in there.
Yeah, Des. We had a really interesting group in there last night. And we had fun, but it was, to me, it just goes to show you that, you get folks that are typically, I mean, we know one another, and maybe not everybody knew everybody, but there was some pretty good connections made last night. And it just goes to show that, you can bring different, I guess you call it communities or groups or niches or whatever, into where they can kind of. I think the term they like to use is cross pollinate. And hey, Creekside Maples. She
Hey,
said,
Tony.
hey to Jesse.
So I'm gonna have to go, guys. I did just before everybody starts going again.
Hey,
I'll catch
Mitchell.
everybody
Thanks
later.
for coming in.
No problem. See everybody later.
I'll
All right,
talk to you later.
We'll see you later,
Adios.
Mitchell.
He was crowding me anyway on my right side.
He's in there laughing.
I got room now. I can scratch.
Laughing too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, he didn't want that. He laughed because you didn't get sick. He didn't want to be too
You don't
close.
want to get sick, yeah.
So Mitchell's good people.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we got Xander in here. Hey, what's going on, Xander? Talking about Annie's Kitchen, all the way from Australia. Wow.
The links above pinned up. If anyone else wants to come up, come on up. Tony, you can come up. I know Tony also. He's a crack up. Him up here, we won't be, nothing will get done.
No.
Well, it gives me an idea that I'm gonna try to follow through on, and that's just that I'm gonna try to get some kind of a thing like what is it? Do a invite people from different primary communities like travel and the knife community and fishing community and gardening community and barbecue community.
Yeah, the barbecue community is huge.
And anyhow, the last time we did that, we had an influx for a pretty good while, and I still talk with a couple. I still go to some of the same, live streams that I was. I don't make them quite as often because I'm busier now these days. But I try to go into different communities to just to get to meet folks. But I'm thinking at some point I'm gonna try to host one where we just have, and I'm gonna call it Worlds Collide.
Come on up, Tony.
Meeting of the Juggernauts or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It ought to be fun.
Right. I think what also helps is if you keep the conversation going, if you will, diversely. Meaning, don't get on there and everybody talk about fishing, because then you got people who don't like to fish, they're going to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you get on there and you start talking about knitting or crocheting for the first hour, people ain't interested in just all one conversation, and you'll lose people. But
Right.
if you start talking about recruiting, or you start talking about hunting, or if you do a little bit of everything, then it kind of favors everybody.
Yeah.
Talk about cooking, talk about your videos, talk about what you dropped lately. We just dropped the video on how to make a crustless pie, which is the impossible pie, the cooking. So you can talk about that for a little bit, and then maybe jump over onto what you've been doing there, Gary. So it's like you just got to keep the conversation open to where everybody feels like they can participate, or they feel like they're included.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm all for that too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about pie. Where is the pie?
Oh, I think I've got one or two slices left. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That impossible coconut pie came out amazing.
I got an idea, Jerry. Let's have a real quick drawing where it's automatic that I win, and Jesse has to send me that slice of pie.
Well, I would have them send it to me first.
Oh no.
So
It'd be bad by the time you guys get it with our mail system.
Well, no, the way mail comes right here, I think it would never make it. Somebody would take it.
Yeah.
But
So,
you gotta be a person that likes coconut.
I like coconut.
I love it. In fact, you know what my idea of the perfect pie is? Coconut banana cream.
Yes. Coconut banana cream is one of my favorites.
I like cherry pies. And just to let you know, Jesse and Lisa, my birthday's Sunday, and I usually have a cherry pie for my birthday.
Okay, and your birthday's Sunday, and then aren't you going to be a guest on Rich Cat next week?
Yes, next Friday. Matter of fact.
So for those of you who don't know, that Jerry's going to be on Rich Cat at 2:00 Central.
Susan,
So-
making your pie, right?
And Susan's gonna be making him a pie for being on her.
I think Susan will go and buy it from the Mennonite store, probably.
No. It's so simple to make. You don't need to. You got all the ingredients in your house right now. I'm almost certain.
I don't have cherries.
It's like 4 or 5 ingredients. That's it.
There's no
I'm
cherries.
talking about the impossible pie.
The impossible pie?
The coconut.
I'll admit that there ain't many pies I've ever run into. In fact, I can't think of a single pie I didn't run into that I didn't like.
Yeah. I don't really like cake that much, so.
Yeah.
Oh, German chocolate cake.
German chocolate cake's the only one I like.
That's
with coconut.
bomb.
That's my favorite too, German chocolate. If I'm gonna get a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan, when Susan and I met years ago, she said, well, I'm gonna make you a pie. I'm going like, okay, what do you make me? I'll make you a chocolate pie. I go, or not cake. I'm gonna make you a chocolate cake. And go, well, if you add a little bit German to it, I might have it. Although we got something in the basement. It's gonna crowd you a little bit, Tony. Hang on. Jesse, hang on for a second.
Okay, let me get. Holy moly! Look at here! Look at here!
Here's Tony. Here's Tony.
Brother from another mother.
How you doing up there?
I'm doing good. I have to wear these special glasses that takes the glare away from the screen so it doesn't bother my eyes, you see.
Once you get blind.
Well, I gotta do what I gotta do to protect this, eh? I mean, it was made so well the first time I can't abuse it. So
Oh, is that cute? Hey, Derek. Look at that. You chased Jesse away.
where'd he go?
He couldn't handle it. The glasses are bothering him.
He get
There we go. Your glasses will bother me, Tony. Sorry.
Oh man, that's killing me. All that glare, I can't take it. I can't take it.
I just had to shed a little light on the subject here, Jerry.
Yeah. Jesse, I'm telling you, you're going to get caught flashing.
And you'd be the first one to catch me too.
You guys crack me up.
So how you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing good. I understand you come up here to tell me I won.
Tell you,
I won on the wheel.
You want a pie from Jesse and Lisa.
From Lisa.
Oh, okay.
And just remember, it's coming, Jerry. It's coming.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
And as long as we owe you, you always got something coming.
That's right. I understand.
That's right, Scout. My future is so bright. I keep this right on my desk now. My wife says I have a screw loose, so
you tighten it up while you're there. Hey, when are you going to get that wall up there behind there? I've seen that like that for a long time. I mean, can't your wife put that drywall up?
Well, I'll tell you the problem, Jerry. I'll be honest with you. The problem is this: we've gotten so much snow, and she's been so busy shoveling the snow that she can't do everything. I mean, come on, you got to give her a break every now and again.
Is she out shoveling snow right now?
No, we got rain moving in, so I asked her to go out and put tarps over everything.
Okay.
Tell you, she's good to have around.
Hey, every guy should have a woman like you got, I got, and Jesse has. And I think Gary's got one too.
Gary's got one. He's got a good one. Yeah.
I got a good one.
Stays hidden.
Yeah. Now we want to get the wall started, but we're just kind of right now taking time to finish off some smaller projects that have been needing to get done,
Tony,
like lights and all that. So
Tony, here's my thought.
Okay.
I think you ought to build the wall, and I think you ought to make Americans pay for it.
Here's the big question.
Just saying, it's just a thought that comes to my mind.
Jesse, we will build this wall.
and America's going to pay for it.
That's great. I got a question for you, Tony. How'd you do on that generator? How'd you do on the wheel thing and getting the generator and stuff?
Yeah, it went really well actually. So we have it now, and it's been working really well. Obviously, we're just figuring out kind of where we're at with everything, but it does. Hey, like today, sunny day. We ran everything in the house: lights, computer,
Fridge.
refrigerator, toaster this morning, all that stuff, stove, and it stayed rated 100% all day because of the sun. So it's really saving us a lot of money because we were spending like $40 a day on that generator, eh? Because
Fuel,
because the generator only runs 13 hours, and
So the only
you
time
know.
so the only time it takes a dip is when he runs his mouth.
But I've been talking to Jesse so much, I just plugged the phone in from him.
I couldn't pass that up, Tony.
So let me ask you about that generator. Now, it's solar powered, correct?
It can be charged. They say 7 ways. You charge the way I use is I charge it from the sun, obviously the solar panels.
Right.
I have 4 solar panels that total 350 watts, but it'll max out at 700. So I want to add, at least another 300 watt panel to it. Can you bring me that light, dear, so this doesn't keep coming on and off? So there's that. You can plug it into AC and charge it. You can plug it into your truck and charge it. You can charge it off of lead batteries. You can charge it that way. So there's all kinds of ways to charge it. And what I like about it is that you can charge it like 2 ways at the same time. So for instance, let's say I got the generator running because I'm running the welder or something like that.
Right.
Okay, so then I make sure I plug the power source in, because then, then I can charge the Blue Eddy off the generator and off the solar. So in an hour and a half, I can go from 30% to 100%.
Wow. I didn't know you could do
So okay, so
dual charge.
my question though is, if it's solar power,
Yep.
is it charging batteries to run at night, or does it? I mean, how does that run? How's it running once the sun goes down? Is it charging something that makes it run
Yes,
off
there's
the
a
clock?
huge. See what these are. Your typical solar system, you have your panels, you have your solar control charge controller, and then you have your inverter,
Right.
and then that all comes and that all comes down to batteries.
Right.
So those are generally individual pieces and parts of your solar power system. How
Okay.
this works, they have taken a box and they put everything, including the battery and the charge controller and everything, inside this one big box.
Self-contained unit.
It's a self-contained unit.
Okay.
And so then you plug your panels into that and it charges that way. And then it has a switch on it. I can switch it from DC out or AC out or both at the same time. I can run it off a 12 volt. It even has, I believe, a 30 amp plug on there. It has a lot of juice coming out of it. And so what I can do and what I intend to do is I plan on putting a panel on the wall, and then I plan on having all of my solar power run into my panel, and then it'll be dispersed through the house, just like everyone that has electric, the same way. And that's how that'll work.
Okay. Well, I just wasn't wondering because I knew it was solar power, but I'm got one class left to actually have a degree in solar power, or actually alternative energy. So I understand all that stuff. But I just didn't. That's a new system. I never heard of it and saw it because I'm out of the loop. And so I was wondering if it was charging batteries, and the batteries are actually going back and making your power. So your power basically comes off of the battery pack.
Yes. Yeah.
And then just charging the power during the day through your solar panels, or you have other ways of charging the batteries.
Exactly. And Joe wants to know the generator is made by. It is made by Blue Eddy. I also have a smaller Jackery, but it doesn't have the power or the longevity of charge that the Blue Eddy has. The Blue Eddy is considered a whole house solar generator. And that's what's so good about it. And the other good thing about it is that I can, now that we got our foot in the door with Blue Eddy, we can develop a bigger system, if we can say it that way, so that we can add more batteries and more solar panels, so that in time I'll have basically a 5,000 watt system sitting here in 2 boxes, couple of batteries with 7 or 8 solar panels, and that's all you'll need. And what I love about it is they have what's called a 3500 0 to 100 charge life, and so that gives you 10 years of charge at 100%. And then obviously charging batteries, they get old, they get weary, and your end charge doesn't last to 100 anymore. But even Blue Eddy, they guarantee that even after 10 years, you're still going to get 80% of that charge capacity. So it's incredible.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you have 10-year basically 10 years of 80%.
Yes. Well, 10 years of 100%, and then after 10 years, 80%.
So when they say the batteries should be replaced, after 20 years or at 20 years, or they don't really know for sure?
They really, they say these things keep going and going and going. I would think that using them a lot and
Right.
charging, recharging, I mean, it's just like your cell phone or anything else. It's charging and discharge and charge back up. So
I don't think Blue Eddy's been around long enough to tell how long they were going to last. I mean, they can predict or they can speculate, but they haven't been around long enough to tell.
yeah.
I mean, the unit he has, it has not been around long enough to tell you if it's going to last 20 or 30 years.
No, they don't have any of these units out there over, I don't think they're over 2 years old. So
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So there's no way you can really tell if it's going to last 20 years, 30 years, 10. And it all depends on usage. I would say if you're running that thing solely, it could last, let's say 20 years. But if you only run it intermittently, it could last 30 or 40, you know. So
yeah. Well, our entire goal is to be absolutely streamlined, to have no electrical company to be totally off grid, because that's no utilities that we have to pay the big companies for. And so that's our goal. And in doing that, you have to be realistic, unless you show up with fistfuls of dollars, which we didn't. You have to be realistic in what your goals are. And that's the beauty of Blue Eddy. What I love about it is that they have a program. Now that we're sponsored by them, we have the program in place where after we get this one looked after and we do some advertising for them and things like that, then we can move on with that relationship through advertising and grow the units that we have so that we become more efficient in what we're doing. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good.
I'm glad you got it. I'm glad I was able to help with at least one ticket. You know, I mean,
yeah. Well, we appreciate Jerry. Listen, and we say this to everybody, whether it's 1 ticket, 10 tickets, 100 tickets, or no tickets, and you watch our videos, you subscribe to our channel, you come and read our story and be there in the lives and stuff. It's all good. It's all support. It all counts, whether you have 10 subs or 10,000 subs. We are thankful to each and every person that has had our back through this whole story. It's been incredible. It really has.
And I'm just glad. I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't be in there on Tuesday night because I bowl on Tuesday night. And just to let you know, on that night you had that, I shot at 6:30. So I'm pretty happy about that.
There you go.
I'm happy about something though, you know. So
yeah. Well, good. Yeah.
Anyways.
Gary looks like he's thirsty up there.
He's got his water bottles and his Gatorade.
I see that. Just going to town, Gatorades, everything else. Bucky's.
Hey.
40 ounces here.
Yeah. Just a minute. I couldn't see that. Oh yeah, there we go.
That's Jesse's company. He's got stock in that company.
Yeah.
That's right.
My wife calls it Busey's.
Busey's.
I've only
You know
been
what?
to 2.
Once you go to a Buc-ee's, you won't look at any other gas station or convenience store the same way.
Well, I told you
they set the bar when you can go to a restroom at a Buc-ee's and know it's going to be spotless and clean every time you go. Then any other store you go to,
I even did a video about getting lost in the Buc-ee's bathroom.
I want to tell you though, Jesse, I had never heard of a Buc-ee's, and I've been, I thought I had been all over the country, but So we started after you talked about it. My wife and I went to my wife said, "Hey, do you know where a Buc-ee's is at?" So she got online. She started punching around. Found out that they're building one near on the west side of Springfield, and making its own exit to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, when they get that built, we're going there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've got one. Buc-ee's is huge, and they're probably one of the biggest ones in the country now. But I mean, not the biggest ones in the country. Let me rephrase that. They have a lot of big stores, but the one they got one, and I'm not sure where it's at, but somewhere like in Minnesota or Wisconsin, there's a huge. It's almost like a mall. That's how big that gas station is, and I can't remember. It's even multi-leveled, but in if I can remember which one, I tell you. But I saw it on a channel called Victory Outdoor Services. It's a truck stop, but they have everything there. I mean, it's like a mall. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
Well,
And
both the ones I've been to had 248 pumps.
oh my Lord.
and I've been to one like the one in Luling where every pump was parked. They had a car parked at every one of them.
When they get that big, did they have a pipeline that just goes right there to it?
They'd have to, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine the truck would be there every hour pumping fuel into it?
Yeah.
Well,
They got a refinery out back.
They probably do. But every time I've been there, there've always been trucks pumping or dumping gas, filling them up with gas. So
Hey, Joe, fix it. He asked what our channel was. Is it okay?
I put it up there. I put it up there.
Okay, it's Creekside Maples Homestead's what it is.
I heard that, Tamara. The answer to your question there is Ricochet. I know that little joke that she's putting up there.
Ricochet. There you go. Yeah.
I hope I didn't ruin it for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was St. Patty's Day when yesterday?
Yeah, today.
Today. Yesterday too. Yeah. What am I talking about? It's today.
Is that today?
Yeah.
17. It's always 2 days before my birthday. Always 2 days before my birthday.
Well,
Can you imagine that? Never changed every year. It's always 2 days before my birthday.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. Well,
Happy birthday, Jerry.
They turned the water green in Boston Harbor.
Did they do that this year?
Yeah.
Boston Harbor.
I didn't.
Do it every year.
I've been sitting here in front of this computer all day, so I haven't kind of watched it. I usually watch it and laugh about it. And when I was brewing beer, I made a green beer. It didn't taste very good, but I did make green beer.
Turn your green around the gills.
Yeah. That takes a knack to actually make green beer, so it doesn't make your tongue green.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir. So, Jerry, where are you at again in Missouri?
yeah, I'm south of Joplin.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
You lived in Joplin, so I'm in what they call Stark City.
yeah, yep,
You know where Granby's at, right?
yep.
Well, I'm just south of Granby. I'm between Neosho and I get Metal Block.
Happens to me all the time.
Dang.
Of course,
Well, I'm between Neosho and Monette, but I'm trying Fairview.
Yeah.
The next small town before you get to Wheaton.
Yeah.
So I'm actually on the west side of Fairview, off of 86.
Yeah, we've known we rode our motorcycles all over that place. But yeah, Neosho, we are in Neosho every week.
And Stark City used to be called Clever years back.
Smart idea.
And they changed it to Stark City because the Stark brothers used to have a nursery here.
Yeah.
They started their nursery business here in what used to be at that time called Clever. They had a huge piece of property with all full of fruit trees, which also has no rock of the place.
Okay.
And they had their fruit trees there, and they were selling fruit trees from there. I don't know why they moved to go farther north, but they went farther north, and the town was called Clever, had some kind of vote or something. They decided to call it Stark City. So it was their their thank you to the Stark brothers or something. I'm not sure how it worked.
Or maybe they renamed it hoping they would come back.
That may be. But now
I know
all that land is all farm. It's all farmland, and the farmer across the road from me, I used to work for him. He farms all that old nursery, and we we actually call it the nursery.
Yeah,
So-
well, there's a lot of old mining ground around there, out through there too.
Yep.
Like or you know where Orinoco is.
Right. That's
Yeah,
north.
and that's how Orinoco got its name when because Joplin was founded on mining and lead mining, and
Right.
when they decided to move, towards Orinoco, well, they didn't have a name for that place yet because many years ago, and so the story goes that they looked at it and said, well, go up there, do some test sites, drill down, see what you can find, and it'll determine whether we go or not. And that's why they called it or no go. So if there's no or, we're not going. So they called it, and that's the history of the name of Orinoco. They just called it that. So,
Tony, are you pulling our leg?
well, no, Jesse, I can't reach that far.
Garden of Eden, thanks for coming in. So I just, hey, Tony from Kettle Kitchen's here.
Hey, Tony.
So we got two Tonys now. So two Tonys. Pretty soon I can get a Grammy.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, or an Oscar.
Yeah, there we go.
There was on Brenda's last night. There's 3 Tonys in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I was
crazy.
at Brenda's last night.
Yeah, there was me, Tony at Kettle Kitchen, and then Tony from Cabin in the Woods.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the names straight. I'm getting them where I'm starting to remember a lot of them, but sometimes I'm afraid to say something because I don't have the right name.
Yeah, it's right, Tamara, all the way to Galena and beyond for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was confusing. Tony Kettle says, yeah, it was, because people say, hey, Tony, and then not one of us knew who they're talking to. We all thought we won there once. No, I just. Oh, but anyway.
Well, you know that Granby was a mining town also.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about mining towns, right across the street from my property is the old mine shaft. And my property used to be part of the Neosho Concrete Company back in 1953. And they used to take the chat from the mine shaft and bring it across the street to the block company. They used to make cement blocks here, and they would ship them out of here. Neosho Concrete, our block company, used to ship them out of here until the mine shaft actually collapsed in 1953.
Yeah,
and it caved in. And when they came to work one day and it was all caved in, they just packed their bags and left. And And then I don't understand. There's mine shafts go 250 feet down. It's where the mine shaft goes down to, and it goes out several miles under all over the farmlands here.
Yeah,
and they left all the machinery is down there. They left it down there. They left it. Of course, there was they also donkeys and mules down there that used to pull a lot of the ore out of there. They left everything. They just pushed everything back in on top of the hole and closed it up and left it.
Yeah, that Big Brutus, Tamara and David there are talking about Big Brutus. Have you been up to see Big Brutus? That's something to see. That is remind me, Tamara, was it the biggest open pit mining, like what do they call those things? The old fashioned
strip pits, right?
Yeah, but they used the big bucket there.
Excavators.
Yeah, but there was anyway. Big Brutus was the largest, and it is huge. If you ever get a chance to go see it, it is huge. We were out to see it a few times, drove out there, and it sits there on a little spot of ground. But speaking
where's that at, though? I don't know. I've not heard of that part where that's at.
Yeah, I think that's up. Is that up by Galena, Tamara? Is that where that's at? I can't quite remember where it's at. But speaking of those shafts, 250 feet down, some friends of ours, they're in bed one night and they heard their house begin to creak. And so they jumped up and the whole back end of their house went down into a big old, what do they call those big pits? A sinkhole. And so they got out of it okay. But there's this huge sinkhole underneath their house now. And so they lost everything. It was crazy, but unbelievable.
We're not sure, but we think right behind the house there's the old air shaft, because I had a pool. We had a pool that had 5,000 gallons in it, and I decided I was going to drain the pool, and because winter is coming, so I drained all those 5,000 gallons and it went right into this little area that's a little lower, and it piled. You see the water raise up to it. And I said, well, it'll take a couple of days for it to sink away into the ground. We came out like 10 minutes later, it was gone. Looked at my wife. I said, "That's a lot of water to disappear that quickly into the ground."
Yeah.
So we think there might, and we knew that there was a bunch of air shafts and stuff, and there might be an air shaft under there. We haven't dug down, but we're kind of afraid to,
Yeah.
And but my well that I actually used to supply the block company. It used to supply, I think it was like 90 gallons a minute for the block company, and my well sits at my pump sits at 300 feet now. When I first moved here, the pump sat at 160, and then we had one of those droughts. And actually, we ran the pump dry. So I had the pump guy come out, and I said, well, do you know how deep this pump is? He said, well, I'll drop a string, then we'll see. And I said, well, drop the pump down to 200 or 250. He goes, well, I'll drop it down to 250. And he dropped the string down, and he had it was 300 feet long. He said, I ran out of string, and I hadn't hit the bottom. And I said, oh. He said, your well could be well over 1,000 feet deeper. Who knows how far it actually goes down.
Wow.
And I said, well, as long as I have water, that's fine. So we pull water out of that. That's the only time we ever ran it out when it was sitting at 160, and it's down farther now. We have not run it well dry, and there's been times that they told me the static head was at 51 feet.
Yeah.
And my other end of the property, I've got a well that's on the north end that we use for my oldest son's house sits there. And his well, the static head was at 31 feet. You can actually look down the pipe and see the water sitting in there. So we don't know how deep the wells are actually around here, but there's a lot of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no rocks.
No rocks.
No rock. We find rock. Like I said, we bring it to the house and sit next to the porch. I've got 4 or 5 out there. People come up to the house and go, what's with the rock? We don't. Those are our treasures. Those treasures. What do you mean? I got rock all over my place.
Those are archaeological finds.
Yeah, on our place it is because you don't see rock.
I can send you some.
It's nice to cut hay here. You never have to worry about chipping a blade.
Yeah, I can send you lots of rocks.
Man,
we found every one on the property when I was digging the foundation holes.
I'm sure they're all right there, right where you were digging, weren't they?
Ah! And I'm talking some of them 300-pounders, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you almost felt like you had to blast them out, huh?
Yeah, but that was no lap for Popeye. Popeye just in there.
Yeah. Grab right over.
Just chip right through that stuff.
Chip right through it.
Excuse me. Your wife just chipped through all that stuff.
Yeah, well, she pulled them and me up out of the hole when I was done. So,
I tell
you what,
all she had to do is put in reverse.
That's right there, man. But I'll tell you what, you just got to put your mind to it when you come up against that stuff. And some of those rocks, I mean, they're huge rocks, but I would drill through them with my hammer drill so I could get my big crowbar through them, and then I'd start rocking them, And once I got them loosened up, well, then I could get my arms around them and move them and get a chain around them, and then I could get them up out of the hole. But it was getting that, get them to rock first so you could get a chain around them. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's right. Tamara's she's up near Joplin.
Yeah,
Tamara Dave near Joplin. They're my neighbors. One of these days I'll have to run up and see them.
Yeah. They still got the Bass Pro there in Springfield? Yep. Yeah, we used to go up there every weekend.
Supposedly, it's the main corporate office.
Yeah, it's the biggest one they say. It's the first big one they built. So, what there?
Hey, Ginger.
That's original. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Ginger, not for nothing, is here. And Tony's here. And, I don't know. Mitchell was here earlier. He had to leave.
Yeah, and Tony's here.
Tony.
Jesse's here. We're not getting too close to him, though. He's been sick, so I'm just going to move my chair over a bit. I don't want what he's got.
He doesn't even know what he's got.
No, he better look after Miss Lisa.
He gave it to her.
Mama told me he better.
You know what it is? It's desert dirt. That's what
Yeah.
you got it. You got it from the
Oh,
desert.
No, I wasn't sick. I mean, I haven't been sick in 2.5 years because Lisa retired. I retired, so we haven't been around anybody just about. And we came back from our trip on vacation, and I went to the nursing facility to go check on Mom, and we brought her home, and that's when I got sick. So I think I picked up something from the facility there.
Think so?
Probably.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, we don't see enough people to get sick, so
Tamara says she's got rock. She grows rock there. She wants to probably bring some here too. All my neighbors say, "How come you don't have no rock here?" Well, it's all what they call the Tonia red soil. It's a glacier fill, is what it is. And so there's rock, but you got to dig down over 5 feet before you get to any.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do here is go for a walk, and there's all kinds of them. See here, I don't know how it is there, but here, all the different parcels of land. We see the farmers years ago would just put sleds behind their horses and go up and down the fields and put the rocks on. Well, then they'd take them to the edge of the property line, and then they dump all the rocks right along the property line. So you got these long, rows of just rocks, eh? And so we got some of that going on, but then somehow this property on the far edge of it became the dumping ground for everyone's old farm stuff and steel and all of that. So I've got, I don't know how many thousands of pounds of junk steel over there that once it dries up enough, I'm going to go over there with the truck and throw it on and go sell it to the scrapyard. Because there's a lot of weight in old steel over there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what we got here. The place, this used to be a dairy, and there was a bunch of scrap metal, also from the concrete company. It was a dairy after that, but the old scrap thing. I had people when I first bought the property call me up when I was in California. They call me up and say, "You want us to clear off your metal?" I said, "Yeah, I don't care. Go ahead, go for it. As long as you keep it." Well, they came and got all the easy stuff, all the stuff that was buried. They didn't want to have to pull it out from the dirt and stuff. Well, I've probably sold, I don't know, 5 or 6 truckloads of some metal already, and I've got two piles, one at the north end and one at the south end here, of metal. And people ask me, "What's that metal for?" And my wife says, "That's our savings account."
Yeah.
That's retirement.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of metal.
I've got old motor blocks out there. You name it, it's out there. So I figure, there's quite a bit of weight there, and so we'll load her up here in the summer and take her down to the scrapyard, see what we can get out of it.
But you could have built your house on all that rock.
Yeah, no thanks.
But if you want to make a fence, I can give you a clue on how to make fences with that rock.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll ship it to you and you do a video. I'll watch it.
You might do what it costs you to ship that rock to me.
What's the name of that guy, Tony, in Alaska, that him and his dad built his house in Alaska? They used rocks as their foundation. And then they built the house, beautiful cabin. It's probably, just a one-family cabin, but they finished it and everything, and then his dad passed away.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember the name of the channel, but he gives you, it's like a 2-year time lapse video of from start to finish, and they use these huge boulders as their platform for your base.
Yeah, great videos. The saddest video of all was when he come back on, because he'd been away a bit, and he come back and he said his dad had passed away, and that was tough to watch. That one.
I remember the name of the channel though, and
is that the one where he has that? Is that the one where he has that little shed that little sleeping thing that he pulls behind his snowmobile?
Yes. He's got a little stove in it, and he's got a little or heater, and
what was that called?
Gary's gonna find it.
Yeah. Do the Google, Gary. Googling Gary.
I'm not gonna Google.
But
he ain't gonna Google it. But he'll have the Gary nowhere.
But what I was getting is, he showed you how you can use rocks to use for foundation and how they did it. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful home. They took meticulous cuts, and they did very good. And it was all from the trees that they cut off the property. They had the woodland mill. I think it was a woodland mill that they used to cut all their wood, all the siding. They even made their own doors.
The outsider.
The outsider. That's it.
The outsider. Yep, that's who it is.
Just tell Gary if you want to know something, he'll find it for you.
Is that the one where? I think that's the one where he always hit the axe down in the stump, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got every tree on earth. Well, I can't read that, but he's got that axe with the writing on it. He went and built that cabin out in the woods, and he had that little I guess I don't know what you call it, but he towed it behind his ski mobile, for shelter, little shelter.
Yeah, that's a tiny home, because being out in the wilderness, they're miles and miles and miles from anybody. So anywhere you go, whether you're going to go hunting or whatever, he had to carry something. And in case he got caught in a blizzard.
It was like a little ice fishing shack.
Yep, like a little shanty, basically.
On skids, probably.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, I guess I can drop the link if anybody.
I already did. I already dropped it.
Okay, he's got 1.12 million subscribers.
Yeah,
yeah.
But look at the time lapse video one that shows you from the very beginning to the very end. And it's phenomenal. You'll sit there and binge it forever.
Those time lapse videos, people love them. They really do.
I like watching his videos.
Yeah, we'll do a time lapse once we get this pretty much done, but it'll be a while yet. But hey, we come a long ways. When you realize we had to sit back and realize that we're talking about this the other day. We didn't even get started on this piece of property digging holes until October or something. And so to be sitting here, I know it's just we don't have the walls finished yet, and they won't be because we're cutting the pine off our own property here, and then I'll mill those, and then I'll let them dry through the summer, and then I'll tongue and groove them in October, and then put them on the walls. So we're a ways away, but to be where we're at, just 5.5 months in the tent's a long time.
When I first met you, I met you through Jesse.
Yeah.
And I just started my channel.
Yep.
And you were in a tent.
Yep.
It was like, I don't know, it was like December or so a year ago.
Yeah. It was a while, but we got through it, and here we are sitting here now. Like, it's 80 degrees in this house tonight because we got it all insulated, and now we got the wind. One of the windows in, and the roof's good. And
how deep is the snow?
Oh, well, we had about 4 feet, but we got about 2.5 feet of snow left now.
Have you seen what the snow was in the Tahoe? It's over like 14, 15 feet. It's ridiculous. I used to work as a salesperson. I used to go to Mammoth and Bishop, and I used to call on all the schools, and I used to go there 4 or 5 times a year. And then I never saw any more snow than maybe just the height of the car. Well, they're showing pictures now that it's like 4 times the height of the car on the roads. You can't have an accident. It's like you could just bump into the snow and bump back in the road,
Yeah.
But I saw pictures this morning on Facebook that of a house. It's completely covered. All they have is the wall of them from their driveway, walking down to get to the front door. It's just solid snow covered.
Wow.
It's the most snow they've had there in years.
How much snow was in Missouri this year?
We had we had 3 inches one day. We've had it snowed quite a bit this year, actually, snow days. Where it doesn't stay.
Yeah.
We get we had maybe 4 or 5 days we had snow on the ground. But
kind of like the vacuum salesman. Shows up, it sucks, but it's gone pretty soon.
The worst part of it is it's muddy here afterwards.
Oh, tell me about it.
And it takes on my place. It takes a week or two of solid sunshine before it's no longer mud. Before you can walk across it and not worry about falling.
Yeah, we got mud here now. It's the snow's starting to melt. I mean, it was what was it, 47, 48 Fahrenheit here today. So we're really starting to see some good sun, and the snow's melting, and our driveway is bare, but it was all just mud. Like, I'm talking, it's already 4 inches deep of mud.
Yep.
And it's just going to get worse. It will not be passable, with the truck probably till you're looking at, it'll be May, mid-May. Hopefully it'll dry up some, but until then, the truck has to stay parked because you just can't get up and down. I mean, our driveway is like 200 yards or more, and so it's a long driveway up through the field back to the back where
So what do you do? Park your car down at the bottom of the hill and walk
that's
up?
That's what we'll have to do. Again, because you can't keep it, just gets stuck. It's all it'll do. We've got to build a driveway, but that's another huge expense right now, and we're going to have to put a bunch of gravel base and then crush rock, but it'll come in time.
Yeah,
everything in its time. So
that's how everything is. It's like here, they tell you just wait 15 minutes, the weather will change. In Missouri, it does change about every 15 minutes. It seems like. I mean, we just had 70-degree weather 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then it dropped down overnight. And this morning my wife said it was 25 this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was below freezing this morning. It was about minus, what was it there? About -8 this morning, I think is what it said. So when I saw it was
Celsius. It's Celsius, not as
yeah. So I hopped in the truck and I had to run out to the garage and get a little gas. So I hopped in the truck right away. When I saw it froze up, I went out real quick and got back because usually it's, warm and melting and soft and muddy by 11 o'clock. So we got all that done.
Up the driveway then.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could put that rock in that driveway.
Yeah, if I could crush it.
Oh, they're not rock, it's boulders, huh?
Yeah, it's boulders.
Boulders.
Yeah. Gravel and gravel in Georgia going up, right?
I have a rock crusher in the city, but I don't think you can get those big boulders in there. It's more for gold ore.
Oh man. I got rocks as big as truck tires, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of the videos you can see how big they are. I mean, they're big, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, let everybody know that tomorrow night I'm going to do fireman breakfast again. You're all welcome to come in and watch me cook breakfast. I won't be talking on the chat. My wife might have her phone, so we might glance at it, but we're going to be shorthanded tomorrow night. My oldest son, who usually helps me, is got a thing going with his motorcycle group, and so he won't be there. So it's going to be basically myself, my wife, and my son and my grandkids help serve everybody. The other firemen don't really come and participate anymore. They rather just let it go, but I do it for the community. It's not for me or anything else. It's for the community. And the money we raise for that goes back to the community because it's a fireman relief fund. And what we do with that money is if somebody has a house burned down and it's on a weekend, they can't get no money out of the bank or whatever because they have to have a place to live, we give them money to help them out, help them get back on their feet, help them get started.
How much groceries do you go through, Jerry?
We buy between $50 and $70 worth of groceries, and I'll bring in between 100 and I've bought in as much as $300 in a night. It all depends on who comes, and we have some people around here who have businesses and they want to see it keep going because they know it helps the community, and they'll come in and drop a $50 bill. It's all donation. They just donate what they want.
Right.
I don't ask for anything. Basically I'm just a short order cook, and I just cook up we have biscuits and gravy, eggs any way you want it. I don't do omelets because it takes a lot more work to for omelets, so I don't do omelets, but I will do sunny side if somebody asks for them. I'd rather not, but I will do them. And we have bacon and sausage, and I have hash browns. And so we, orange juice, coffee.
Well, what you do is you put your sign, say, eggs over easy, $5, scrambled, donation.
Oh, I'd rather do eggs over easy than scrambled. I really would.
I figured you didn't want that. You said
no, eggs over easy are a whole lot easier than scrambled. And you pour scrambled eggs on the grill, and they just go everywhere.
And flip the numbers. Just flip the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
donate.
I've done this for. They've actually done this for years. I mean, way before I became here. But they used to do it. That's how the fire department was supported by that.
I
They would.
tell you how you can fix that, Jerry.
What?
Get you a stainless steel ring that's, I don't know, 6 inches across. And when you go to put the grill or the eggs on the grill, just put them in that. Have it sitting on the grill
For scrambled eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, and then just take it off and cut them up, scramble them up like that.
I mean,
I've got that for when I have people come in and ask me if I bake them a biscuit muffin, and I'll put it. I got one of those metal rings. I drop the egg inside that and fry it up in there, and put it on a biscuit for them if they want. But they were used to. I was a treasurer of this fire department for. Well, I've been on it for about 14 years now. And I first come on, they needed a treasurer, and I became a treasurer. Well, what a nightmare that was. I used to run this whole fire department on less than $10,000 a year, which is buying new uniforms, hoses, whatever, not uniforms, but bunker gear, and buying all that stuff. And we did this once a month. We have this fundraiser that money used to go to the department. Well, a couple of years back, and I'm not even sure how many years back now, it's been probably 5 or 6, we decided we need to go tax-based because all the other cities around here started going tax-based and they kept cutting away from a section of our response area. And by doing tax-based, they could draw their lines wherever they want, and then the people voted on it, and if it got approved, they got that area. So we decided we have to cut our niche out, or we were going to be a fire department in a town, and that was it, just the town. And our town, my Waupun town, is 136 people. So, that's a huge town around here.
Yeah.
So we went tax-based, and we've been tax-based, and we joined up with Fairview, and we went from Stark City Fire Department and Fairview Fire Department to Midway Fire Protection Agency. So our tax base takes care of everything. It's more money than we ever used to raise the department on. And we don't have to charge anybody when they come out, put a fire out anymore, because it's all taken care of. And before, we used to have to send them a bill, and they may or may not pay it. And it come down to the end of the year before if they have money, I could buy fuel to put in the trucks. So we took when we went tax base, we had some money in this account, and we put it all. I said, well, we want to just turn this over to the tax part, and they said, no, you can't do that. You have to figure out something else to do with it. And I had about $4,000, $5,000 in there, and they said, okay, well, I said, let's make a fireman relief fund. We can help the community when people have fires. Before, if you had a fire, we'd go put the fire out, and we'd send you a bill on top of the fact that you have lost your house,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't be able to pay their bill. They wouldn't be able to get the house. So this way now we're paying back. We're giving back.
Yeah, that'd be tough to, a person doesn't plan. Most people don't plan on their house burning down, and then all of a sudden it burns down. And to add insult to injury, oh, here's your bill for whatever, $5,000-$7,000 for putting the fire out.
It was usually like $500-$600.
That's not the worst part. The worst part is when you have a fire in your house, and this is contained in one room, and the fire department comes in and they put it out. They do more damage with water than the fire did with fire. So then they get a bill back for that. Then they get a bill for the to repair their house. So they're
insurance goes up. And there's a lot. I went on several fires. I was trained through the Navy, so I know how to put out oil fires and and gasoline fires and all that stuff. And I've gone on several car fires and several house fires and stuff. And you go to a house fire, and you got 2 departments out there working on a house fire. And you got to contain the front part of the house, and all of a sudden they come out and say, "Okay, back away." And I'm thinking, "Hold it, we've got the almost out," and they're telling us to back away. The owner wants us to stop doing it because they want it to rather burn down so they can rebuild than trying to repair it. Well, I understand that, I really understand it, but to me, I'm already out there for 3 hours fighting on this thing. I need to put this thing out so I can go back home, go back to bed. Fires are terrible in communities like we are because your response time is not that quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's
thank you.
Something else you run into when you talk about any rural area with the police as well. Typically.
I see everyone's not to change the subject, but just watching the comments there about the dandelion tea, and everyone's out looking for dandelions. We're still under 2.5 feet of snow.
Hey, you guys want to come hit dandelions? You can come out my fields, and I'll let you pick all the dandelions you want.
So Tony, let me tell you this. So we're out there driving around. I'm sick. Lisa's getting sick, and she said, the dandelions are out. We got to go get some. So we went driving around trying to find a field full of dandelions. We found some. We're out there picking, and then I got this app. It tells me what the plant is. So I look at it, and it says fake dandelion. It's a dandelion, a flower that looks like a dandelion, but it's not really it's a fake dandelion.
Yeah, no difference.
You still made some tea out of it.
Oh man!
So you got fake dandelion tea.
We have plenty of them here. Like in the summertime, like once the spring comes, that'll be the first thing comes up. There's all kinds of them. And my grandmother, I used to go pick them with her, and because we'd boil them and eat them. They're very healthy for you.
If anybody has dandelions they want to get rid of, send them this way, please.
Well,
I do not like picking them.
Pick them.
I'll tell you, I got plenty. I'll freeze dry a bag and send them to you.
I'll let you come and pick them. The only problem is the manure that's on them just comes with it. You can't get it there.
Jerry, you don't understand. I don't want to pick them.
Well, he wants me to pick them for you.
Exactly.
Well,
now, did you dig them out by the root, or did you just pull them? How'd you get them?
I just pulled whatever I could pull. If a root came up, fine. If a root didn't come up, then you just got the flower. Because she really just wanted the head, right?
Yeah, just the head's all they want.
It's all they want.
Well, my grandmother, she used to take the head off them, and that's what she'd boil to make the tea. Right. But then the green itself, she had a little deal that she'd push down the ground and pop them things out, and then she'd clean them all off and take the leaves and boil them down. It's just like collard greens.
The green plant itself. You would, but I was just pulling the flowers.
You can put the leaves in a salad and have a dandelion salad.
Yeah. We used to eat them all the time. Put a little you sprinkle a little vinegar on them, some butter, whatever. Some people like a little sugar across them, stuff like that. But they're very healthy, and like we got a pile of them.
Well, my goats love them, so I don't have to worry about picking any. They eat them all. They eat them right out of the ground. So our biggest thing around here is thistle. That's our worst thing around here. Yeah,
those little things. Thistle. Yeah. Now, one thing we struggle with here too is vetch. There's a lot of vetch. It's
Do you have hairy vetch?
Yeah, if that gets in your garden, man, you can't get rid of that stuff. It's everywhere.
What is it?
Vetch?
It's another weed.
What is it? Is it herb or is it just like
it's the weed?
It's the weed.
Well, I have to clarify. You guys know what the definition of a weed is, right?
Anything that grows where you don't want it to grow.
That's right.
There you go.
So you have to be careful when you say what a weed, but we have Johnson grass here. That I don't know if you know about Johnson. I mean, you probably know about Tony, but I don't know if you got Johnson grass in Texas. Do they down there in Texas?
Most of our grass down here is San Augustine.
San Augustine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, but the Johnson grass is a wild grass. It will grow to 5 or 6 feet tall. Yeah. And it gets a real big, thick stem on it, about the size of my finger, if it gets that way. But it's a very invasive plant. It grows from tubers. And a lot of people think that they can dig them up. Well, when you dig up a Johnson grass, you break the tuber in half, and now you got 2 plants. And so they just keep spreading. Well, the farmer problem is when you go and you disc your field and you've got these Johnson grass in there, you disc a tuber up into 14 million little pieces, you got 14 more plants growing.
It's hard to get rid of.
Right. It's very, very hard to get rid of. And there's a chemical you can use called, the commercial brand is called.
So if you cut one tuber into a bunch of little pieces, wouldn't that make it a whole bunch of subs?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
A bunch of grass. Yeah.
One YouTuber. I get where you're going, Jesse. I get where you're going.
Oh, a YouTuber. Oh, that's funny. I just sub YouTube. Hey, I never thought about that. Hey, that's pretty good, Jesse. Man, I know
I'm picking up what you're throwing down, Jesse. I'm with you. You know I'm with you.
You're always throwing something down.
Jerry.
Yeah, it just went right by me. But we excuse me.
Are you getting what I got, Jerry? You see,
I might be getting
him up.
It's coming across the screen.
No, that's cross pollination right there.
Right.
Yeah, but the Johnson grass I use what we call outrider, and you spray it. And if you spray it and leave it on, and that's one of my jobs I used to do before I retired. You spray areas with outrider, and you leave it on the grass until the following winter comes through. The outrider will get pushed down into the tuber, dissolves the tumor, and it dissolves the plant.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you spray it, it turns brown. Oh, you can go out and cut it. And I keep trying. I would spray it and say, "No, just leave it till next March, and it'll be gone." And I come back. They call me back in March. And say, "Well, it started growing back." And going like, "Well, what'd you do last year?" "Well, it turned brown, so I cut it off." And I'm like, "There, you cut off all that chemical that's supposed to be going to the tuber."
Yeah, a lot of people back in the day when I worked for a farmer, they used Roundup on everything.
Yep.
And of course now you can't. There's a generic brand that you can still buy, but it isn't the same chemical because of all the carcinogenics that were in the original Roundup. But back then, when I was a teenager, we put that stuff on everything.
You know that Roundup was originally made with a soap.
Yeah,
it was actually made to be a soap.
Yeah,
and they found it killed weeds really well, and so that's when they turned into using it for weeds. But Roundup, it only lasts for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's why we always put soap in it.
Yep.
And that made it adhere to the plant leaf better. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And the thing is, you spray it, 24 hours later, it turns to a fertilizer.
Well, they say you put vinegar, a little vinegar, water, baking soda, and a touch of Dawn soap on it. Does the same thing.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's friendlier. It's easier on plants.
Yeah.
On other plants.
Well, I think there was a big class action lawsuit against the makers of Roundup, the original Roundup.
There still is.
Is there? Yeah. Yeah. Because I know I used to get emails all the time. Did you
ever use this product?
Yeah.
Did you have cancer from it? And what gets me is did you die from it? And then okay, if I die from it, what are you sending me an email for?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
did, but I'm back. Yeah.
I always just like, oh, really? You mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know who comes up with those wording of those things, but I wonder about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that was a long time ago for me. So, I mean, I turned out okay.
Just a glitch.
I mean, come on, what could possibly go wrong?
Before Roundup, he had hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I still got a little bit up there.
Yeah,
not much.
That's because you stopped using it.
You a Junior fan?
Oh, I was actually his daddy was my favorite driver for years, and when Dale Sr. got killed, I don't know, it just kind of, because I used to watch racing all the time, but after he got killed, it just kind of, I lost interest there for a while. And then I started watching it again. And so, but yeah, I always followed Junior after his dad. So
I followed his Junior or his dad's replacement.
Yeah. Who was that?
Kevin Harvick.
Yeah. Kevin Harvick. Yeah.
He used to drive for Shell. He used to drive for Shell.
Yeah.
He was one of our drivers.
He's just a shell of himself now.
Well, Kevin, this is Kevin's last year, from what I understand.
Yeah.
He was the 29. That's where I got my belt loop 29 from.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where the 29 come from. I wonder where that 29 come from.
Well, he had a choice. He was going to use belt loop 29 or another left turn and another left turn.
Yeah.
Left turn. No, belt loop 29 sounded better.
Here's what happened. My email used to be belt loop 601.
Did you lose weight?
Only 29 pounds.
No.
Well, that's the area code.
No.
So,
601 meant how many holes he had in the belt.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah, let's go with that. but then I couldn't remember the password for my email. And so I had to pick another one. And I just started kind of following Kevin Harvick. So I picked, Kevin Harvick's number 29. So now Belt Loop I've had since about 1981, 80 or 81. And that, that was just because I was always hanging around.
There you go.
But the
Yeah.
sorry, I just ain't had much to say, but I noticed the 88, and in fact, I've got a ton of 20 and 29, hats around here.
Yeah, I love watching racing. I really do. I really enjoy watching a good race.
It used to put me to sleep every time I try to watch it. Just I'm going around.
Yeah.
But
Have y'all ever been to a racetrack? Like,
Yes.
it is so loud.
I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Talladega. I've been to Texas Motor Speedway. I've been to several.
Yeah.
But the way I got into racing though was pretty simple. I love, in case you can't tell, I love good food. And
No.
yeah,
Well, it was Belt Loop 601, so we understand.
exactly. And a friend of mine says, and a friend of mine that was into racing says, well, I tell you what, let's smoke some ribs and watch the race. I said, hey, I don't care anything about the race, but hey, the ribs I'll go for. So we put the race on and started smoking some ribs. And, every time a commercial, instead of falling asleep watching it, we'd get up, we'd go outside and tend to the smoker a little bit, add a little bit of water when needed, a few briquettes and what have you. And, I did that 3 or 4 weeks in a row. I was get to where, okay, I started understanding a little bit more of it. And I could appreciate it a little bit more. It was, especially with somebody sitting there and telling me this is what's going on, that's what's going on.
Yeah, we enjoyed too. I watched some dirt track racing. Now that's nuts. But we went to World of Outlaws. I don't know if y'all have been to those. World of Outlaws dirt track, and that was probably the loudest probably race I ever, man. That just blew your ears out. It was so loud, but it was fun to watch because dirt track, boy.
Is the only time you could yell at your wife and not get mad. She not get mad at you.
Yeah, she could hear what I'm saying.
I went to Kansas City motor track up there. My son was on the Army Reserves, and they were doing that Army what do you call it, Appreciation Day. And they had the guys out there on the tracks, and so he got free tickets for all us to go. So that's the only one time I went, and it's the only time I ever want to go. I mean, I'd rather stay at home and watch it on TV, because when the commercial time comes, you can go to the bathroom.
That same with baseball and football. I'd much rather watch it on TV because, I got my own concession stand.
Yep.
I got no line restrooms.
Yep, that's I lived in San Diego. We used to watch the San Diego Padres, and at that time the San Diego Chargers. And my biggest complaint about professional sports is that they keep jacking the prices up because they can't get enough people to come to the stadium.
Yeah,
and I keep thinking, if you guys aren't really using so much logic to it, they're making money. Nowadays the beers are like $9-10 a beer. And but they, the money's not at the actual coming in; it's the concessions. That's where the money comes from. But they kept raising the price. I said, who can afford to actually go to one anymore? You're sitting down there up in nosebleed, at a football game, it costs you $150.
Yeah, it was like drive-in theaters. I mean, I'm sure everyone on here, even in the comments, gonna remember you went to the drive-in and. I mean, you used to go there. It was fun, and you work all week, and you go, and it was fun, and didn't cost you a whole lot of money, and you could watch a good movie and hang out and have a drink and some popcorn or a burger and some fries or whatever. But now all those things cost so much money. Now you can't afford to do those things anymore.
We can't have drive-in theaters anymore because their land costs too much money.
Yeah. There you go, eh?
So it's money. It's like in San Diego, one of the bowling alleys I used to bowl at. One of the bowling alleys I shot a 300 at. They closed down, and I said, "Well, why are you closing down?" Well, the land's worth more than the bowling alleys. That is more than money we make on that. They sold it to a drugstore, CVS. They sold it to the CVS, and they tore it all down, put a new drugstore up, and I went like, to me that was a waste of money. I mean, how many drugstores do you need on the street corner?
Put up a parking lot. Da, da, da.
Yeah, I've got my thoughts about a lot of things that they shouldn't. They don't think at the long terms.
Yeah.
You know,
Dark Lord says, I'm not that old.
not that old.
What's a drive-in theater?
Yeah. Yeah. What's a drive-in theater? Yeah. I used to love drive-in theaters. I don't care. It was just fun. It was just
They're
fun.
Still out there. They're still out there.
Are there some still out there?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Saw one when we were in Oregon, and then we saw there's several here in Texas, but they're hard to find now.
Yeah. Well, if you go to the movie theater, I mean, go to a movie theater now. I haven't gone. I can't remember last time I went, but it must cost you $25-$30 now to go to a theater, I would imagine. Maybe more.
Like $8-9 a ticket to get in.
Oregon, I think our tickets were like $7 because I had a military discount.
Okay.
But, so it's between $7 and $10 a ticket. But you go online and go get your concession. Oh my goodness! Popcorn $10, sodas $5.
Yeah.
For one. And so you're spending $10-$20 just to get some refreshments. So you spend upwards of $50 for.
I don't know how movie theaters stay in business. I really don't. My wife and I went to, and actually took Robert with us, and we went to a movie theater here in the Osho area, and then I walked in there, and there isn't a soul in this place, and we're gonna watch a movie. I thought, well, this would be cool. They got the new recliner seats. That was the big attraction. So I thought, well, this is cool. We'll go there. And this is after most of COVID was over. And I had my shots, and I was vaccinated. They go in there and they looked at me and said, "You got to put a mask on." I said, "Excuse me, I've got my shots." Yeah. And they said, "No, we don't care. You have to have a mask." I said, "Well, I don't wear a mask. I don't refuse to wear a mask. I wear a mask one place and one place only, and that's when I go to the VA hospital. I'm not wearing it anyplace else." I said, "If you don't want my business, I guess I'll leave." They go, "Well, we can't let you stay here without a mask." I said, "Well, I guess you don't want me to drop $50 here."
Such a rebel.
I am. There's certain things, that COVID thing I was so pissed about, that they closed everything down and told people they can't go where, and you can't go there, and you got to have a mask for this. I had not worn a mask once, and nobody's ever came up to me and said, "We're going to give you a ticket." Yeah. I would love to have them give me one. They never gave a ticket.
They were here in Canada.
Were they?
Oh, they're arresting people, getting them tickets, you name it. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, Tamara, I remember that Route 66 drive-in there on that you're talking about there in Carthage. Been there. Yeah.
But Jerry, when they said they were going to give you a ticket, they were going to give you a ticket to go to another theater.
Yeah.
I'm talking about with they said they could call you. Again, call police officers to come give you a ticket. Yeah. I don't know one police officer would even dare to give a person a ticket for that.
Yeah.
No, I know here though they did. There was different people that got tickets and stuff, but a lot of people just because the court was so backed up because of all this junk and everything. Well, then they'd go and the judge would just throw them out, and it was nothing. So it was just a gimmick, just a waste of time and overreach, absolute overreach. So, but hey, everything is here.
It's it's getting that way here too, though. I mean, my thing was I told everybody, hey, if you start listening to them and start wearing a mask when they think they know better, go do some research on a mask. You'll find out a mask is not going to stop you from getting the disease. It just stops you from spreading your germs.
Yeah.
So if you don't have COVID, you don't need to wear a mask.
Yeah.
If you get COVID and you wear a mask, that's all you're doing is protecting everybody else. You're not protecting yourself by wearing one. And then I said to them, if you think about it, they can get you to start wearing a mask. Then what's next? They're going to start telling you have to wear. Women are going to have to start wearing the hoods over their head and stuff. They have to start wearing long dresses and stuff. I'm thinking,
Hey, Jerry, so how about them Kansas City Chiefs?
I'll stop. I'll stop.
How about them Kansas City Chiefs, Jerry?
Yeah. How about that Super
They are
Bowl
a good
win?
team, aren't they?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Texas though,
Why?
because they didn't have a good team this year.
Texas, or are you talking about Dallas? Or are you talking about
That's
Houston?
Texas, isn't it?
Well, they got two teams here. You got Houston, Texans, and you got the Dallas Cowboys. So
The Astros did good.
I feel
but
sorry
I'm,
for
with you, Jerry.
both.
I'm so sorry that the Texans did so poorly this year.
Hey, Jerry,
Both
I'm
Texas
gonna
teams
head
did.
out, brother.
Are you going to leave, Gary?
I'm gonna head out.
Thanks for coming.
It's my pleasure. Y'all have a good evening. We'll talk
See
to
you,
y'all.
Gary.
See y'all
All right. Maybe I'll see. Maybe you come in tomorrow to do my cooking.
Well, I'll certainly look for it.
It was good seeing you, Gary.
Yep.
Good seeing you too. Oh,
Yeah.
as
Take
always.
care.
It's good to see you, Tony.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Yeah, it's been almost 3 hours. Probably have to start.
Now you got more room, Tony.
Now you get more.
Good stretch now. Man. These shoulders are too wide to cram in those tight spaces like that, Jesse. You know that.
Yeah. It's okay, you're small enough.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming up.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
Good time. It's 11:30 here, so I'm checking out. So
Yeah, it's 9:30 here. So like I said, almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you inviting us up, though, Jerry.
Oh, hey, Gary and I want to start doing this thing on a Friday things for every Friday, trying to get my hours up because I'm at like, I don't know, 1898 or something like that.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
I know you got your farm, and I know you got to do a lot of, just like Tony, you got chores you got to take care of.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to go on the road, go visit somewhere.
well, we're gonna do that. We got to written down.
because that will give you a lot of hours.
It sure will.
We picked up a ton of hours.
Yep.
On every time we go somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna do that suggestion you said about going around the town and showing the Civil battlefields, the Civil War battlefields, and stuff like that.
If you take a trip in your car, you and your wife, just go somewhere, go live.
Yep.
People like to see that. People are just, especially people who are cooped up and can't go nowhere. There's
Right.
a lot of people that they're just at their home, either in a wheelchair or they're confined for whatever reason, and they want to get out, and you're their out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people enjoy going along for the ride and seeing stuff because sometimes it's places that they'll never be able to get to.
Never.
But you can take them there, and so they're seeing it firsthand as you go. And so
I would have never ever seen the Bay of Fundy had I
Yeah.
not seen Tony's video when he showed us the Bay of Fundy.
yeah,
And
I
to
should have
know
done it when I went to California a year ago.
to know that it was down to the mud, but it can get up to like, what is it, 5
52-foot drop.
4 drop.
The tides,
Just by the
52
tide.
feet. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that like in Alaska when I was up there hunting up there, duck hunting. Big drop like that.
yeah. The
Amazing.
highest tides in the world are right here in New Brunswick, the Bay of Fundy, down in Moncton. Highest tides in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do a time lapse on that?
No, he just did like I was telling you. He went and showed everybody the area while they were out and about, and said, "Hey, let's go live and let's show them the Bay of Fundy and a few other little places that they went to." And it was a short video, but I mean, at least we got to see it. I would have never seen it had he not shown that video.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Not to mention, now that it's in my head, if we ever go up there, I'll say, "Hey, we got to stop by the Bay of Fundy because remember when we saw it."
Yeah.
So you never know. It could be a Civil War relic area. It could be, a place with no rocks.
Yeah.
But if you don't do those things, it does take a while to get those watch hours. But if every time you go out, take the camera, whether it's a short drive, long drive, trip, family trip, whatever, or like you're going to be cooking, let your camera run and show it.
Let it
It's
run.
all watch hours.
And
Right.
even if you set the camera up like what Gary
Night
did
camera.
when we did that meetup in Dayton, he set the camera up and just let it play. You don't have to be talking to it. You can just say, "Hey, I'm going to be cooking for the next 8 hours." Boom, there you go. And people will come, people will go, people will come, people will go, and you're just
That's why I did the fire cooking. The first time I did it straight through YouTube, and the last month I did it. I wasn't going to do it again, but then Tamara said I needed to do it, and Linda told me I should do it, and a lot of people asked me, "Are you going to do it again?" I went like, "Well, there's nothing to see. You've seen it all, you know. They go, no, you got to do it. You got to do it. So I said, okay, fine. So I did it, you know, and I did on Streamline. Of course, I wasn't able to watch any of the chat or something like that, but then I went back and watched it afterwards, spit through it, and so I get all the chat and stuff to see if there's anything I need to answer. You know, so it was, you know, worth it. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do it this month again, and see if I can set the camera up at a different angle, so they can see, you know, how better the grill, you know, how I actually do the cooking and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to do it again. We'll see what happens. You know, if I get where I don't get not enough people watch it, then I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah, you don't know how many comments we got on our lives when they were saying, "Oh my God, Jesse, that place you're at is so beautiful. I'd have never seen this kind of stuff, or you know, this harbor or this. You know, we went to Sunset Bay at sunset. Could you believe
Beautiful.
it? We were
That was
actually there at
beautiful.
Sunset Bay. It's called Sunset Bay for that reason.
Yeah.
And we got there at sunset. It was just perfect. So I had to videotape it. I didn't have no service because I was live. Then we lost service. So then I had to do a video short of the Bay of Fundy at sunset. And you know, people just responded with, "Man, we'd have never seen nothing that beautiful," or the mountains when we were in Utah. And
right. Because they're most likely not going to ever get a chance to go there.
No, you'd be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of places you can take people through the lens of a camera, and they will go with you if you give them the opportunity. They really will.
Mm-hmm. That's what
anyway, guys.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
All right. I'm out. Take care. And we'll be talking to you all later. All righty.
All right. Have a nice evening.
All right.
Yeah. That's what I like about Drew's Lens. If you ever watch Drew's Lens, he takes you on his trips, and you see it through his eyes. What he's seeing, you're seeing as well. And it just spoke to me and said, you know what? When we go out, we need to show them what we see. You know, it's easy to turn the camera on you and talk for 2 hours on a live while you're driving, but that doesn't give the audience anything to look at. So we turn the camera so they can see what we're seeing. They can still hear us. They know what Jesse and Lisa look like, so they don't need to look at us, but they can see what we look at, what we're seeing. And
I enjoyed following along on that too myself. I mean, you know, I use my phone and my map system to keep track of where you were at.
You were sitting there you're about 40 miles away from so and so, or you're at mile marker 2022 or whatever it was.
You sure that I kept a road if there was any kind of backup, you saw it.
Right.
And I should have done that when I went to California for my brother-in-law's eulogy type thing. We went there. A year ago in January, but I was too new on YouTube to even think about doing a live, you know.
Right.
So, but we drove all the way there. It's 21-hour drive there and back, you know.
Yeah. When we went to our first long road trip, when we went live, we were like at 16 or 1700 hours. But when we went to Kentucky, by the time I got back from Kentucky, we were at 4,000 hours.
Wow.
That's how quick it grew.
Wow.
Like within 2 months.
Wow.
So
you're way above 4,000 now, right?
No, I hit my 1K when we were in Kentucky, and I also got my watch hours at the same time.
Same time.
Yeah. So I met. They both met at the same time, and then I got monetized. But if it hadn't been for the lives, we wouldn't have been able to do it.
Right.
And the trips. And we even stopped at Buc-ee's and showed people around Buc-ee's, and they enjoyed that. They just, nobody. Somebody who's never been in a Buc-ee's, they wanted to see what it looked like. I
was with you when we went that big Buc-ee's, and that was interesting. I mean, I that's why I can't wait till Buc-ee's gets here so I can go over and get some of that.
You're gonna love it. Stuff. You're gonna love it. Not to mention the gas is usually cheaper too than the other guys.
Yeah,
but you're gonna love the store, and you'll see.
I'm gonna shut this off, Jesse.
All right. Likewise, I'm gonna head out.
Thanks for being. Don't go away, Jesse. Hang on. Scout for being my one of my moderators, and Tamara, and everybody else who came here. Dartmeat Lord, thanks for coming here. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow night on the Fireman Breakfast. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.